Why, hello, everybody. I almost wasn't able to unmute you guys fast enough.
Hello.
A little bit of the mouse difficulties. Anywho, welcome to This Is Us with the harding and the knocking and the dice. I myself am Ian, the Dungeon Master, or God, whatever your preference is. I like God. It's a lot of very props up your self-confidence when you're DMing anyway. Anywho, these fine gentlemen around me, one of whom is swagged out, the rest of whom are a bunch of fucking plebs, are your players, your party members, your heroes, your anti-heroes. A lot of death threats to the guards around, so I don't know if y'all fall into the hero category right at this moment. It's a little kind of y'all edged out. Y'all's party morality has kind of gone down a little bit. It's just kind of shifted.
Oftentimes guards are on the side of good.
A lot of time being spent in jail, bunch of jailbirds.
Hey, just because somebody's in jail doesn't mean that they deserve to be there.
Exactly.
Legality does not equal morality.
Did you not deserve to be there, Jakob?
No.
Did you
No
not
shot.
deserve to be there, Jakob?
No shot.
By the letter of the law of which you claim to uphold? Anywho. We're here to play some Ghost of Saltmarsh, as it says down at the bottom of the screen beneath my face, a couple lines. Before we do that, though, brief announcement. We have put on hold our Extra Life campaign that we have been doing and have continued to do, and in its stead are doing we're trying to get money donated to the International Medical Corps, who are helping people over in Ukraine during this crisis, helping the people that need it. It's worthwhile, kind of keep people safe as much as they can, help people who have been injured and the like. It is a worthwhile cause, so I encourage you to go ahead and click on that link and go ahead and donate. Alternatively, or in addition to, do a little bit of research, find some other charities that are doing something similar, but make sure it's going to the right place, because unfortunately there are people that take advantage of these kind of situations, and do so. These are people that need help and definitely deserve it. So it's a good cause to put money towards. That being said, unless anybody else has any other announcements that they would like to share, trying to make sure I'm looking around at everybody. Yes, no, maybe so. 9900. All right. Sick. Fucking nasty. Escatit. Last week, on the Gosm, our brave heroes realized that Jakob was indeed in jail. Deciding what they were going to do with their prisoner, they settled on, well, we kind of need some kind of bargaining power with the cops, because we don't know why Jakob is in jail. So, we'll turn him in. That'll earn us some goodwill, and then we can get our buddy out. They then proceeded to approach the very first pair of guards they saw, told them what went down, that they slightly altered, that they had been attacked in the night by this one man, and that they had subdued him. These guards said okay. They took him to the nearest guard post, where they then proceeded to have a conversation with the local sergeant of the guard who was there, who kind of asked some questions of them, trying to figure, just kind of poking and prodding about as a little preliminary, taking them on their word that this man had indeed assaulted them, putting him in a little jail cell, and asking that they stick around just in case they needed to be called up for further questioning in regards to what was going on with this guy, or just to be told that, yeah, y'all are good, do whatever the fuck you want. They let him know that their buddy Jakob had gone missing, and they weren't quite sure where he was. Maybe he had just gotten a little off the beaten path, or what. He said he'd take a look. They then left and said, shit, and then went to the actual jail, where they were escorted by some guards who were placed within Crown Town, taking them over there, finding out that Jakob was indeed there. Not exactly sure why, as the full reasoning for his jailing, I'm blanking on my words in the English language today, was just that he was just under investigation, and they would not specify further. They did, however, convince the guards on post to let Bart go back and have a few words with Jakob, in which there was a brief conversation, figuring out more or less what had happened, that Jakob had told the guards what their plan had been, and the guards hadn't taken too kindly to them stepping all over their jurisdiction without informing them ahead of time, or maybe getting their assistance, maybe trying to get their cooperation. But then they could not convince these guards to free their friend, and so they said, all right, we'll come back in the morning to be able to talk to Captain Garthvin, who they had talked to previously and seemed relatively amiable as far as guards go in their experience. They then discovered that there was a fire at the guardhouse where they had dropped off their prisoner, noting that there were some dead. None among them were the prisoner they dropped off, and that probably he had been broken out or captured or killed by his comrades within the city. They helped out, helped some of the wounded, helped prevent fires from spreading, and just tried to make themselves look like model citizens until Captain Garthen did inevitably arrive on the scene. They were able to get him pulled aside and have a conversation with them, kind of explaining their situation and how things had to happen, and eventually able to convince him begrudgingly to free Jakob for the moment, and telling him that he would gum up the bureaucracy, hopefully to prevent Jakob from being pursued, either not at all, best case scenario, or at the very least delay his pursuit. He would do what he could, he said. They then went and met with Julian's family, got them and one James Stern hooked up into a carriage, and made their way out of the gate, heading towards Saltmarsh. Jakob was sent on his way mysteriously and under pretty shady-looking circumstances by a handful of guardsmen, exited from his cell, escorted to this gate, and put on a cart with his friends. And that is where we're going to pick up, gentlemen, as y'all are trundling out of the gate, and that gate is shutting behind you. What would you like to do?
Where are we going?
Hey, I guess we were going back to Saltmarsh. That was the plan, right?
We know there's pirates there. They know that we're there. We can't take Julian's family back there.
All right.
Well,
we can
Jakob's
drop 'em off.
just gonna hug Gloob. He's gonna turn to Gloob and hug him.
What is this?
It's good to see you, Gloob.
You're much too big and I am much too small, please.
Oh, sorry. I'm gonna turn to Bart. Also try to hug you.
I've got plate on. You're not gonna crush me. Just let it happen.
Also gonna turn to Julian. Try to hug him.
I think Julian's probably already hugging his family, isn't he?
Yeah, Julian's in the thing with his family.
Y'all are all currently crammed in there.
Oh, we're all crammed in.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would, unless some of y'all are walking alongside the carriage, because you have the carriage. It's a little cramped with as many of y'all as there are, and I mean, I guess there's technically somebody could be accompanying Mr. Stern on the driver's seat on the front.
Right. Yeah, Julian's probably like deeply preoccupied and like protectively hugging his family and just looking concerned overall.
Oh, Jakob is misreading the situation and joining in the group hug. I'm just really glad that y'all were able to...
Taro just stiff arms you as you go in to hug, just kind of into the chest.
That's right, kid. Stranger danger. That's a good mindset.
It's like he just kind of looks up at you, like not frightened, but a little quizzical.
You must be Taro. I've heard a lot about you from your dad.
Yeah. Just kind of looking
Just
up
like
at
your
you.
dad. Man of many words.
Well,
Turns and like embarrassed, kind of buries his face in his mom's skirts. Just kind of goes from
that's
switch.
real good and all, but we don't know if we're going to have people chasing after us. They could be getting horses right now to make chase. So I know we're kind of cramped in here, but maybe we could give Jakob a little bit of room so he can get in his armor.
Who's chasing us?
Yeah, here, Hey, John Seaton. Damn it, I want to call him
It's
that.
John Seaton. I
That's
would
his
like
alias.
everybody, just so everybody is aware, I think John Seaton exists conceptually.
I'll just climb
hope
up
y'all
there
are
and
ready.
just like turn around looking into the carriage.
So you're like climbing up onto the front
Yeah, to give
with
Jakob a
James
little
Stern? Okay.
bit more room. Just
Yeah.
sort of climbing up on front, but turning around and facing so we can still talk about where we're going.
Yeah. So you basically wiggle your way through like the little window that
Yeah.
separates the driver's seat from the carriage. Just kind of. Oh.
Right.
All right.
Yeah. Keep going. How fast is he moving right now? Has he picked up the pace at all?
I mean,
Or
y'all
kinda
are moving at
slowing?
like kind of like a trot.
Okay.
Carriages are inevitably going to move slower than individual horseback. But I mean, y'all aren't booking it because then you'd be doing a whole lot of this. But y'all are moving at a steady pace right now.
Blue knows nothing about horses. If it can go faster, make it go faster. We don't know if we're gonna have people following us. If it can, no clue. I hate those things. Stick a head in the back of the carriage. Okay.
Speeds up a little bit. Ride starts to get a little kind of starts to get a little wobbly.
Where are we going?
I mean, only place I can think of we have two places is Gilbend and the house in Saltmarsh that's abandoned. I mean, I couldn't think of anybody looking there.
Nowhere near the coast.
Then, I mean, my only thought is Gilbend. If that's still okay with you, Bart, going to your family.
Looks over at Bart. There are other cities.
Bart, why are you moving your mouth?
I think what we can do, it might be the little bit of best of both worlds, that if we get them back to that haunted house, well, I mean, it's not, I was kind of look over to the kid, it wasn't really haunted. It was just, people thought it was. We can let them stay there. We can move back into the city, get some supplies, and send them on their way to Gilbin. I think as far as things are concerned with where they go, it'll be better if we're not ever seen with them. If they're just some folk who show up in Gilbin, they have nothing to do with any of us. Nobody knows who they are or any connections they got.
They probably should come up with new names.
Sure.
And they'll be welcome there.
Yeah, no one's really had a problem not being welcome in Gilbin, as far as I know. They might have slim pickings for rooms that are tall enough to be compatible for them, but a couple of bump noggins never hurt nobody too much.
We don't want to go travel up there with them and make sure they're safe all the way there.
I can keep a check on them, can check in on them, with distant messages, but
if we attract trouble, it'd be better if we're not with them. I suppose. He says, looking just super fucking conflicted.
It's a very... Go ahead.
And obviously this is your family, Julian, and y'all have final say, but I believe Mr. Stern's done a mighty fine job so far keeping your family safe.
Indeed. And if that is an employment he wishes to continue, I will provide.
Are you directing this at Mr. Stern?
Yeah.
So you're kind of calling up to him through the window.
Yeah, I figured with the like it already being open enough for people to crawl through it.
Yeah, it's been left open. Yeah, so you still kind of gotta do your thing, but so you just kind of I fully intend to do as Abari wished. I'll be sticking with them.
Can I
There
get
we
an
go,
insight check on this guy?
Sure.
All right. Boog has a good track record here.
He does.
Humans.
Oh no.
Phenomenal.
19 plus 1 for a dirty 20.
Okay.
Let's go.
So
Unprecedented.
I know that's the one in a million. That's the only good insight check you're ever gonna get on a human this entire campaign.
Apparently.
He knew
Uh,
it was important.
So I mean, he seems completely honest that he does fully intend on sticking with them. With a 20 though, it is pretty clear like that he is. There's some apprehension there, though. Like he's, you rolled really good. He he is now out of his element. He is like you can look at the man. He's not a fighter. He's not a warrior of any kind. Like he's kept them safe by know-how of the city and having these kind of like subterfuge and stuff. And this is now away from where that skill set is quite as effective. So he's a little more concerned.
I mean,
Kind of gleaming
If
that
we-
up.
I was just thinking, if we don't want to send them to Gilbin, if that other fellow talked, man, they think they might be sought after there, we could always, when we get to town and they're staying back in that other house just for that one night, we could ask Anders if he knows any place they could be, because he sure as heck ain't working with the Sea Princess. I feel like we could all be safe on that one.
I don't know if we are anymore. Be a pretty damn good cover, wouldn't it?
I mean, I didn't feel like he was lying to us.
I don't know. The whole firebrand thing has me feeling like I don't know much.
Right. I also
did.
feel like Firebrand was framed, and we should probably try to fix that as well.
Oh yes,
I definitely agree.
for sure. But
Your brother, I understand.
on the matter of a safe place for my family, would they expect your hometown after we already brought it up?
I don't know. I mean, they could have just questioned that guy and killed him, or went and brought him back into the fold, or I don't know.
We didn't mention it in context of a place we were or were intending to go or were intending to send anyone.
Did y'all tell somebody about Gilbin?
Yeah, I just kind of look at the kid again, and I spun a yarn saying that the halflings and Gilbin were all cultists and cannibals, and they are gonna make this guy's skin into drapes and eat him and cook him.
Oh,
Mama,
I-
what are cannibals? Julian's wife just kind of looks down at her son and looks back up at you, Bart.
It's people who really like cannabis. That's all.
That's so much better. Bart is great with the kids.
I mean, it is better than eating people, but
What's cannabis? Still looking up at his mom. Just,
That's just +1 tobacco, son.
Tara, what? How about you? Why don't you play? She kind of picks him up and puts him between, like, kind of scooches off the side and puts him between herself and Abby when she had been sat next to Abby. Says, why don't you play with your aunt for a little bit? Abby just kind of is like, just kind of like they pull out some, like, start playing like Cat's Cradle or something over there, kind of to distract from current
Well,
events.
if y'all mention Gilbin to somebody, it might not be the safest of places then. I think
Right.
I think potentially going to Anders, if we have to trust somebody, if we have to trust somebody in Saltmarsh, it's him or
I don't.
Why do you not trust him?
I don't trust anyone not in this cart or my brother right now.
We're
Well,
gonna
we
have
have to send them somewhere.
We don't have to let anyone know where we're sending them, or that we even have them in tow at this time.
What if we sent them to Burl?
There's still a connection with us there.
Right.
small
It's
I mean,
also mighty close to the coast still.
It's
if you're
farther than Gilbend.
yeah, it's farther.
Is it
By
really?
significantly, yeah. Gilbend is between Burl and Saltmarsh. Like if you look at the map, you have like the main road, and Gilbend's just kind of like off of it a little bit, and then Burl's way farther inland.
They have the nice
I thought it
brewery.
was like off the map.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just wanting to get your family completely out of this whole situation, then we can just, you know, hand Mr. Stern here a big old stack of gold and say, you know, send a letter to a certain, send a letter to Captain Zendros, or hell, we don't even know if she was helping the Sea Princess at this point, but send a letter to somehow get to us and say, hey, we're here. This is where we are.
We can check in with them periodically with your little trick, right?
Right.
I think it might be better that we rely on that than any form of written communication.
Sure.
The further the better. I want them implausibly distant from the shoreline.
So
Well, I'm kind of local, so I don't really know too many people this far out. I think.
it might be better if we don't know, for
Maybe
now,
they
at least.
maybe they go to Gilbend as kind of the first stop, and then wherever until it's safe.
Right. They don't gotta tell us where they're heading as long as they're there and they're safe. Right.
Maybe what they can do is drop us off where we picked up the horses.
Yeah.
And we split ways there.
Oh,
You probably
hell.
shouldn't travel
That-
in this carriage. It's
that
been
boat-
seen.
Oh, sorry.
That boat still. We left that man's boat still at the dock. I just realized.
We'll get it.
We're gonna have to pay somebody to get it. I mean, unless we're planning on going to that farm and then come back. Seems like
We can't
we
do
need
that.
to go to the deal with the Sea Princess first. And they said that, what was it? I think I paid for a week worth of storage for it. So past that, it's going to be impounded.
If y'all
Sounds like a
want-
problem for later.
If y'all want to, we can just get out this carriage right now, send your family on to wherever they need to go, and wait for anyone to come up that road in a hurry and deal with them. You know what I'm saying?
Not a bad idea.
Now, I mean, how do we... We're not the only people on this road. That kind of turns us into highwaymen. Just anybody who's in a rush, we're going to stop, harass, and...
I don't imagine they'll send one person out, you know. They said there could have been up to a dozen, right? Of other folks in town.
I would imagine at a minimum.
Right.
You want a few minutes
ha-
with your family before we do that, Julian?
Have we seen any other travelers up and down this road since we've left?
No, it is the middle of the night. Like it's like well into the night. The gates were shut. The gates to the Seton were closed when y'all left. Y'all were kind of surreptitiously let out. Like those are like Julian and Yaki. Y'all would know that it's one of those like certain time of night, gates close. Nobody goes in, nobody goes out till morning, kind of deal.
Come back at 6 a.m. type deal.
Correct.
I did not hear what you said, Alex.
I was asking Julian, do you want a few minutes with your family before we hop out and do that? If that's the plan.
Yes, plus we need to make sure they know what to do.
He says, making eye contact with his wife.
Bart, would you join us so that you can fill them in on what to expect when they arrive?
What you mean now?
First stop Gilbin, then further inland.
All right.
But your hometown could give them a place to lay their head for at least a little while before they move on.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to head to Gilbin, not really got too much of walls or gates or anything like that, so you should just be able to come on in there. And about 2 doors to the right, once you go through the main area, you'll be able to get to the sheriff's office. I mean, my brother, he's working there. His name's Joran. Probably don't
Very well. Okay.
don't relate myself to you any, but if he's not completely drunk by the time you get there, or depending on what time of day it is, he should be able to help you out. I mean, he's an okay guy when he's sober, but you just got to catch him in the right time, I guess. I couldn't tell you when that is. Haven't found a good time in the past 50 years or so.
Her eyebrow is arched on one side. It's kind of. And you are sure that this is the best place for us to go?
Just
First
temporary.
stop, darling. After that, you'll be moving on. But on short notice, somewhere for at least a safe overnight will be worth the trip.
You should at least be able to get. Sorry. You should at least be able to get directions. They got some maps and stuff there they could probably help you out with, and make sure that you're making some right treks through the swamp to get where you need to go with the safest way possible.
Okay.
Julian's gonna start counting gold into one of his spare pouches.
How much gold?
100 pieces.
All right.
Looking over to his brother's friend. I keep forgetting the dude's name. So bad.
Bro, he has it's so easy. James Stern.
I know.
Write it down.
I think I do have it written down somewhere. I can't remember where I wrote it down. Yeah, right.
God
That's
damn.
the struggle. Those kind of addressing him. Say,
My bad.
Be sure and sell the cart at the first opportunity. This was seen leaving the city.
It's not a bad idea. Yeah. Yeah, we can do that. Be a little more
How many
vulnerable
horses?
traveling on foot, but
Yeah, how many horses does the wagon
this is
have?
being pulled by 2 horses currently.
2 horses. Okay.
Could get another cart, another carriage, another horse, and I'll ride. Just not this.
We probably don't got too. I'll go ahead and let you know. We probably don't got too many horses in Gilbin. Most of them are old farming horses. Not too many riders.
Just something for him to keep an eye open for.
Sure, we can find something. We've got a little bit of coin tucked away that your brother had for just in case. So
Y'all sure you got enough? I got some extra y'all can use if y'all gonna need it.
I think that we should be okay as long as we're careful with our spending.
Do you have any weapons?
You're looking at this guy. He's got like a belt knife. Like
30 daggers.
yeah. He's like not much of a fighter.
glancing over at Bart and a quick nod, and instead of just 100 gold in one pouch, he's got 3 pouches, so we'll take 2, 75 in each, 1 for Stern, 1 for his wife.
So into 3 or 2 pouches.
2 pouches,
2
75
pouches.
gold each.
So 150 gold total. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, this will between this and what your brother had holed away for a rainy day. This should be plenty. Well, not much of a fighter. I should probably put up some documentation for that we could use that'll reasonably hide us, at least where any kind of track, like where anybody would be taking note of such things is concerned.
No one's a
Real-
fighter until they need to be.
I am
Is
very not a
that.
fighter. I mean, I'll do what I can, but probably stick to running unless we hire some hands.
Sure you will.
I was a cook until a couple of months back, so
You'll
Oh,
give Stern one of his scimitars and give his wife a dagger.
thank you. I guess if nothing else, it's, if they see I'm armed, maybe they'll be a little more wary. This dude is not wearing like any armor or anything.
Yeah.
Like he's literally like plain clothes. He's like, I
The
can
only
I may be able to bluff my way out of some situations if push comes to shove.
The only threats on the road are just going to be from the city.
right.
Yeah, honestly, what we'll probably do is once we're a little farther away, see if we can maybe blend into a merchant caravan or something of the like. Safety in numbers and all that.
How big of a guy is James Stern?
He's he's probably a little on the taller end of like average human height. He's like not quite 6 foot, probably like 5'11", maybe 5'11" and some change. But for the most part, very like not gangly, but he's not built either. Like he definitely looks like he does some physical labor, but he's not a big guy either.
You know what? I got a better idea. I'm gonna take my studded leather armor out of my pack. My old studded leather armor.
That is frog sized.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm gonna look at Julian with it in my hands, and I'm gonna kind of nod my head towards Taro.
Sorry, I was adjusting my inventory. Say that one more time.
I got my studded leather armor in my hands, and I'm just kind of holding it out to you, like not holding it out for everybody to see, trying to be somewhat surreptitious, but kind of like holding it towards you and nodding towards Taro.
You see a very poorly controlled look of like, not necessarily like anguish, but definitely like a pained sadness. It's kind of
I'll hand it over.
Just handed it off to Julian.
Yeah.
um
I'll try to talk to James a little bit and be like, if you see any trees laid out across the road, just keep an eye out, turn around immediately, and just go back the other direction. You know a lot of local birds?
Not a ton, but there's a handful that we used for business. Kind of
All right. Well,
side-eyeing over at Jakob as he knows all the
Nope.
rest of you know, but
well, good. So you know the difference between a bird call and a signal. Then.
I for at least ours anyway. I can.
I mean, it'll have to be good enough. Just sort of
Yeah, well,
keep an eye out, or I reckon an ear out for that kind of thing.
of course. Yeah. Like I said,
You hear a
we're at
bird
least
call that's not a bird call.
not
That's
gonna
not good.
Yeah, don't plan on stopping if I can. Like I said, we'll try to integrate ourselves into some kind of caravan that has guards, and so we can mix ourselves in once we're far enough away from the city for it to be feasible without being too risky.
Be sure and come up with those names and histories before you get to any kind of civilization.
Yeah, trust me, already thinking about it.
Excellent. I'm gonna have a word with my family before we depart.
is the carriage stopped at this time?
Y'all are moving. Y'all been moving ever since Gloob was like suggested like move faster if you can. Y'all haven't gone to like a super quick gallop, but you're at a slightly less sustainable pace that y'all are kind of like rattling. Y'all been kind of this entire time.
I've been squished off to the side trying to help Jakob clamp things
Yeah.
with his armor together.
Oh, just like it's like loose plates are flapping around, clinking into chainmail and into each other and all that fun stuff.
I'm also I'm gonna hand I can't remember her name, Abari's wife, 2 daggers. Abby. I thought that was Julian's wife. Uh,
That'd be
um,
awkward.
I'm just gonna say, I assume that you're Julian's wife, or Julian's brother's wife, and
yes, I am. She's over there, kind of like was in the middle of kind of distracting Taro. It's like, yes. Went from being like kind of smiley and playful with Taro to immediately back to looking kind of resting bitch face going on. Like,
you look mighty capable. I just wanted to say, we'll get your husband home.
good. It's grumpy.
And just hand her the 2 knives, or 2 daggers.
Oh. Sets them on the seat next to her.
Just keep them with
It's a
you.
little
You might need them
nod.
one day.
Goes back to occupying Taro.
Yeah, Julian's just kind of keeping an eye out the window, waiting for a good opportunity for them to pull off. And
Y'all are currently just moving along a dirt road in the dead of night. It is dark.
right, but like at some point there'll be like a clearing or something they can pull off onto.
I mean,
or
yeah,
whatever.
there's trees in
And-
here. It's not like heavily wooded.
And like a decent amount of distance from the city itself.
Y'all have been moving I'll say probably about half an hour at this juncture. So, you've made it a bit away. It's also the middle of the night, so you'll know that at some point both yourselves as well as the cart will need to stop and rest.
Clue will reach into the pack. Since we're handing things out to help these guys along the way, I'm gonna hand James Stern some caltrops that I have had since episode 1.
All right.
If you're gonna run, that'll make the things behind you not run as fast. Hopefully.
I never thought
Does
about
sound quite
couches
useful. Yeah.
being used on a horse, but that will fuck them up real bad.
Probably so. Poor horsey. Just fucking these horses have boots on. Fuck you. Anti-caltrop horses.
Julian is given the go-ahead for the armor. Hey Taro, do you know how to use a bow?
What? So
Bow
he
and
like
arrow.
looks up from planning it. Yeah.
Okay. Takes out a short bow and 20 arrows, and I'm
Julian, you very distinctly. Taro's idea of a bow is a stick with a piece of string tied to both ends that he is
To be
like
fair,
as a toy.
Loop's short bow is pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. It's much more functional than what Taro has used as a bow. This kid's like,
kind of like
small.
concerned
He's like
look
8.
over at Gloob, but kind of a
Guess desperate times, desperate measures.
your wife looks at you.
looks
What?
back exactly as concerned.
He cannot use a bow.
Do you want me to teach him real quick?
Well,
Excuse me?
we'll talk when we pull off. Mr. Stern, I think it's about time we prepared to part ways again.
Very well. Yeah. Give me. Make sure we don't break any necks or legs.
Just whenever you see a
Slow,
good
though.
clearing.
Yeah, starts to slow the pace of the carriage so that he can keep it out. Probably it takes just a few minutes before he finds somewhere that like there's no like sharp dip off of the road, and he just kind of is able to slow. He doesn't even pull off because it's the dead of night. That y'all haven't seen anybody for a good bit. Not since y'all left Seaton anyway. So y'all are just gonna. What are y'all gonna do?
First, we're gonna make sure you're not followed.
All right.
Then we're gonna find my brother.
Definitely would be appreciated, yeah. Alright.
I'll try to get in contact with one of y'all mentally at the end of every day or so.
Oh.
It might not be every day, but as often as I can at the end of the day. Could be late at night, could be just after dark. But Generally speaking, around that time.
All right. Okay.
Simone.
He's gonna kind of wave his wife aside just for a few steps.
I'll be right back, Taro. Kind of pats him on the back and then turns and walks over to you. Yes, my husband.
Be careful.
Oh. Yes, of course. We will be very careful.
Just kind of like clearly delaying the point where they're going to be leaving again. Just one arm on her shoulder.
We can take care of these threats, but
You better.
there's dangerous men everywhere. Creatures. Be careful.
We'll be fine.
And the bow, just something to keep him occupied and make him feel better. Just shoot at some trees or something, I don't know.
You turn your head and glues out
Maybe.
there with Taro shooting the dirt with.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, that's pretty good.
And if not,
I mean, no, Taro, put that down.
What? He's like, what? Probably like 8. Yeah, I knew how to use a bow by then. He's fine.
Absolutely not. Taro, come here. Why?
Taro,
I
what's
said,
cool?
come here. No, you stop that. But Abby is just like, no. No.
Me and Abby arguing.
You're sitting there
Some mood we're
arguing
having it.
with the more like richly dressed and grumpy woman.
I'm just smoking a pipe, watching Gloob and Abby argue.
Taro, you put that down.
Taro gets called over by his mother. He'll just take both of his family members into an embrace and
take care of your mother, Taro. She needs protecting.
he says, just
What do you
looking
mean?
directly into her eyes.
You're getting ready to go on an adventures.
Going on.
All right.
Can I come?
You're going. You and your mother and your aunt
Oh.
and Mr. Stern. I have work. It's very boring, but you get to have all the fun.
That's stupid.
It is, but I'll catch up with you as soon as I can. And I'll be sending your mother messages.
Somebody like kicks a rock.
We'll go on an
Promise?
adventure of our own once I'm done with work. All right?
You promise?
I do. Listen to your mother. Listen to Mr. Stern. Listen to your aunt.
It's like
Protect them all. You're tough. All right?
a lot of very conflicted emotions going across this kid's face. It's like, adventure, yay! Dad's going again. Fuck. But adventure when he gets back, yay!
Kind of leans in close like he's telling him a secret and look over at his wife.
And I hear that once you get somewhere busy enough, your mother's going to buy you some candy.
Are you? Of course we are. Yes, we will get you some candy. Fuck. I swear to God, when you get back, just like looking at you.
He doesn't even look phased by her irritation. He's just glad to have them there. Place his hands on her shoulders, kiss her on the cheek, peck her on the lips, just kind of brush her hair.
And just like he looks out for you and protects you, you're tough as well. Look out for Mr. Stern. I think you're a bit tougher than he is.
Mr. Stern he's good at what he does. I think he's a bit nervous.
I'll let you be the strong arm. Be safe. It's time for you to get moving.
Of course. You as well. These are dangerous men and women, I think.
One last tight hug. And walk over to Mr. Stern, pat him on the shoulder, give him a quick bro hug as well.
Just kind of forearm.
Take care of
forearm
yourself,
clasp.
take care of them, And I'll see you soon, I hope.
Yeah. Yeah. You as well. Hopefully successful all
Fast.
around.
While
Fingers
Julian
crossed.
was talking to his family, I actually would have been talking to, or Jakob would have been talking to Mr. Stern.
Sure. He's over there kind of fiddling with the reins, kind of feeding some handfuls of like oats to the horses, kind of give them a quick refresher while y'all are stopped. Yeah. Hey.
Addy, I'd heard what you were saying earlier about being a warrior. Or
I
a
am
fighter.
not. No. Opposite. I am not. Neither of those things. Nope.
You might say that, but it's not always about being tough or good in a fight. It's about doing the right thing and making sure you're on the right path and protecting the people that you care about. And from what I've heard, you've done a mighty fine job. And you
Somehow.
might not call yourself a warrior, but I definitely would consider you one. You ever need any guidance or anything? Are you a man of the gods? Do you believe in them?
I say my prayers when necessary, I suppose. Never been particularly godly, but I pay them their dues.
Well, I'll make sure to mention you to the Horonius, one I pay tribute to, and again, if you ever thought about the definition of a warrior, which he does, it'd be somebody like you.
Oh well. Thank you for the vote of confidence. I'll keep trying to do things my way, for now at least. A little higher success rate probably.
Of course.
Never made much coin back at the Docker's Delight. Between me and you, wasn't really my cup of tea.
It's a bit overrated. I've been there a couple times as well.
Yeah. After a while,
Nope.
really sticks. What?
Noise.
I didn't hear it. Fuck y'all. I don't give a shit. That sounds like y'all's problem to me.
All right. Well, while all that's happening, I guess after that quick smoke Bark's had and people are talking about stuff, I'll try to get them a little bit of food prepared along the way, and just probably just like some quick snacks, like grape. I think I still have some grapes. Just something to hold them over.
I don't know if you got any fresh grapes left, my boy. I don't know when you purchased them, hoes. Unrefrigerated.
Yeah, it's probably. Oh yeah, that's a few days travel that we had at the boat, right?
Yeah, y'all have at which juncture?
After we left Saltmarsh.
Did you buy those the last time you were in Saltmarsh? I didn't think y'all
I'm
really
trying
had
to
much
remember.
opportunity.
Yeah.
Y'all
Yeah,
got
like-
there, visited Zendros, talked to Prospero, and then immediately booked it. I think those grapes are like over a month old.
Okay.
They're bruised now.
On a brighter note, you have wine.
Yeah, they're pretty a little sour. They're alcoholic grapes.
All right. Well,
I'd imagine you'd be able to put some kind of like hard tacky kind of thing together out of some stuff that's a little more long lasting.
yeah. I'll,
Peanut butter and hardtack, delicious.
Yeah.
My favorite
I'll-
snack. Ants on cardboard. It's peanut
Yeah,
butter,
I'll-
hardtack, and raisins.
I have one first level spell left. I'll just go ahead and bust out a good berry and give them each 2 good berries, one to have now and one to have at like noon or afternoon the next day.
You hand them to him. Taro looks at it for a second and just goes, oh.
I'm not
Eats the
handing
first
them to
one.
the fucking kid.
You said
Oh,
two
okay, I thought you
each.
said
They just took one. He just because they like I imagine good berries are like sizable, so you wouldn't like pop them both in your mouth at the same time. Hence why you can only eat one at a time.
and explain these are magic berries, and go ahead and have one now. Have one the next day. They should keep you pretty full for a little while. You're still gonna need to find water and stuff like that along the way. I don't know how prepared y'all are for this, but
we have some supplies from Abari's warehouses. We figured we'd be going on a bit of a journey once.
all right. Well,
They
this
told
should
us
give
to
you a
prepare
little.
a carriage.
Yeah, this should give you a little bit of a leg up on whatever supplies you got.
Very well.
And yeah, if whenever everyone gets ready to go, I'll go ahead and get everyone together, have little group prayer of making sure Sarali protects them on their travels. They find nice and safe place to call home along the ways, and wherever they get on their way, they get there safe as possible.
Taro mostly behaves himself. It's kind of.
Me and Taro both.
Fucking Taro's just kind of like head bowed, but he keeps like opening his eyes and looking around to see when he can stop bow when y'all are done. He's like,
Little pop on the back of the head.
I don't get it either.
little child sigh. But I'll make it through it, and as they start to load up, Simone just kind of has one last hug with Julian, one last embrace. Well, I suppose I'd ask all of you to stay safe. If y'all are safe, then he's safe. So
That's right.
if y'all help keep him safe since his return, well, thank you.
Fucking Bart looks the fuck away at that one. Who's not been safe a second since they met. We'll do our best, man.
I would appreciate it. I would.
I'll see you again as soon as I can.
I'd rather not have another false alarm. Good luck, all of you.
And to you
Thank
all
you.
as well.
Hops in the carriage. Starts to trundle along back down, continuing down the dark path. Y'all are left in the pitch darkness in the middle of the night.
Julian does not look okay.
All right.
He is still watching the carriage go.
You got a lantern and one of those in that bag of Hogan glue? Anything like that?
Yeah, I do actually. I got the
At least you have like the spotlight lantern.
what's it called? A hooded lantern? Something
It's
like that?
It should be a spotlight. I can't remember
Spotlight,
exactly what it's called, but it's the bullseye lantern.
Bullseye lantern. There you go.
It's the one that was being
Alright.
used for signaling in the
I got plenty of oil too. I got a lot of oil for it. So I'll go ahead and top it off real quick before we get to. And
Let's kind of set it up so it looks like maybe it fell off the carriage and is pointing back down the road. So if anybody comes riding up, or with us being off the side of the road, we can see them from a goodly ways away. I mean, they were in a hurry. Something probably fell off. They were trying to shift things around. Maybe something didn't get tacked on too good. Hit a bump going too fast. Came off one of them lantern hooks on the side of the carriage. You know how that kind of stuff goes.
A light could set them on edge.
Also,
Oh, yeah,
this
for
is
sure.
a very different lantern from the kind that is usually used to provide light, but probably feasible.
Oh.
This is specifically a bullseye lantern, like the one that's like it's set up to be reflective in the front.
All right.
I think it's meant to more or less be kind of like a spotlight.
Okay.
Julian will just manifest his bow
If
and
I
take a few
recall
steps
correctly.
off of the
I could actually be very wrong.
road.
Isn't that the type of lantern you want shining in front of a carriage?
On the front, I suppose so. I guess, kind of like a headlight. Yeah,
Ye
okay.
olden headlight.
Ye old headlight. Yeah, I had to double check that I was thinking of what I was thinking of, but yeah, that's correct. So
Unless y'all, I mean, if y'all think that's not a good idea, I just figured that might give us a little bit of heads up until they're right on top of us, so we can prepare. I mean, we'll probably hear them coming with galloping hooves or what have you.
Yeah, I was figuring either hide by the side of the road or set up a camp by the side of the road so we could just watch it for a while.
Yeah, let's just camp.
All right.
so we're just kind of going off the side of the road, setting
Yeah.
up camp.
Yeah, probably walk maybe down the road a little bit till we find a nice little wooded area that we can set up.
Yeah. Like I said, there's kind of sparse like tree coverage and stuff off on the sides. Some more brush, so that wouldn't take y'all too long to be able to find something that would give you some kind of cover.
All right.
So,
How
question.
do we want to do watch?
Also, are y'all setting up the dome?
If it can be obscured enough.
I mean, you turn it the right color, it's still a sphere.
I guess what I'm asking is how dense is the foliage on this road?
Not particularly. Not in this
Okay.
area. Y'all haven't made it very far from Seaton yet. So y'all are still in the relatively like settled parts of the area. So like you haven't made it super far out, so
Are there any wet areas nearby?
God dang it, I don't know why I closed out the map. Why would I do that? I'm over here doing that like I'm not gonna need to keep looking at it. Y'all aren't right up on the coast. So, I mean, it's probably not super wet, but y'all aren't right up on it. So, but I mean, you're still close enough to like smell the sea, but you're far enough inland that it's not like marshy.
Okay. I just didn't know what the chances were for finding a place for glue to set up a barrel would be for tonight.
Yeah, y'all are not in the marshes currently, so you might have to hunt around for like a fresh water source. You could.
Could we potentially dig far enough down?
Who
Make
has
a
a shovel?
fucking foxhole.
Technically
Yeah, I mean,
speaking, if you're in any area that is wet-ish, if you dig far enough down, you should get water.
I'll dig a little bit down to
With
see if I can.
what?
I thought we had a shovel.
Do you have a
I do.
shovel? Oh, you have a shovel. Okay.
I have a shovel.
I'm just gonna keep this relatively simple.
Is it?
If you're trying to dig for water, roll a survival check. Leave it
Sure.
up to the dice.
14.
I would volunteer to help, but Julian is probably over by the road keeping an eye on him.
13.
13. I'll say that between the two of you, kind of digging in a couple different places, you're able to find some water, not enough to fill a tub. Because that would be more of you could get some mouthfuls that you're able to find.
How far of a distance away would you say the ocean is? We talking like a mile away, or just like a couple of football fields?
With as far as y'all made it, y'all were still kind of arcing out away from the ocean. So I mean, yeah, y'all are probably like mile, maybe mile and a half away, because y'all been kind of on like a trajectory, kind of like that.
Gotcha. All right.
I'll be fine.
We can go to the water in the morning and get you soaked in.
That's okay. I'll take first watch, I guess.
All right.
All right.
Y'all would know, especially Julian and Jakob, since y'all traveled by this same road to get to Saltmarsh in the first place, that the road does eventually kind of it does veer a lot back closer to the ocean. So y'all will
About
cut
how long? So
probably sometime during tomorrow's travel. It's a little bit. It'd be a few hours from Seaton by horseback, so it'll be a little longer than that for you guys by foot.
we'll find some water tomorrow along the path that we take.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get some shut eye.
Okay. Dome or no dome?
No dome.
No
We'll
dome.
just hunker down in the dirt.
Okay.
Well, it's not like we wouldn't hunker down in the dirt anyway. We'll keep things subtle.
All right.
There's
I'll
a.
take first watch. I can't sleep.
Oh, okay. I'll take second watch then.
I'll take third.
Bart's already asleep. He got stabbed a lot. He used a lot of magic.
Old man Fairfurrow.
100% meant to use that 4th level spell slot to try and chat with someone, but it's just out.
Does
rolled-
Bart
rolled-
snore?
Rolled a con save. Wasn't good.
Fair enough.
Jakob also out.
All
Rolled
right.
a natural 1. Just
All right. So we got 2 party members who have immediately gotten like some bedrolls out and have immediately collapsed into sleep.
It's like not even unfolded yet. They're just using the whole bedroll as a pillow.
Yeah, just kind of. Jakob, are you sleeping? Are y'all both sleeping in your armor? Other question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bart does lightly snore, but it's more of a light whistle. One of those.
So
Like
sleeping.
the one nostril that just.
Yeah, I guess.
So Bart, you won't regain hit dice for this long rest.
Correct.
Jakob, I
I'm
don't
just
think
gonna
you were
spell
missing
check.
any hit dice. So
I'll be right back.
so. Gloob, do you go ahead and conk out as well while Julian takes his first watch? Or you want to do
Glue
anything?
will stay up just for a little bit.
Okay.
No, I'm not talking or anything, but to hang out with Julian, just make sure he's okay. And if he did want to talk, Glue would be awake. So you see Glue probably just like taking one of the like black feathers off of his old studded armor that he just handed off to Taro and just sort of like twiddling it.
You want to see if he's okay? That'll be a insight check.
What's that?
So if you want to tell if he's okay, that'll be an insight check. He is sitting there.
I know you're not
Fiddling with
okay,
an arrow.
but that's a natural 20 plus 1 for the
I
hot
was gonna say
on
if you-
fire insight checks tonight.
If you beat a 8, you would have been able to tell that he is absolutely fucking not okay. Just kind of sitting on a log or a hillock or something, just fucking around with one of his arrows, keeping an eye on the road, just like dead stare at the road.
Anything you want to talk about, Julian?
Just killing pirates.
We can do that. They came after your family real quick. They want you that badly?
Funny thing, I don't even give a shit. I don't want to chase them down. I just want my family safe. But they won't be.
We'll get them. We'll get them. Your family will be alright. They got you.
At 20, you can see like he's losing the battle against some tears at this point. Just kind of face all messed up, like an angry kind of glare at the road. But his face is angry, but he's got his couple tear tracks down.
I just got him back, Lube. Thanks to y'all, but I just got him back.
You still have them.
It's hard being separated, you know? It started to not get used to it. You can't do that, but wall it off, I guess. And it was all gone. They were back again. They were with me. And I wasn't ready for this. I don't know if I could be ready for this. I just want to go running back after him. I don't want to go chasing pirates.
You can. We'll go get the pirates.
No. Y'all in my family too. Different, but you've earned it. I'm lucky to have y'all too. And this is all done. And we're done with pirates and weird researchers and war and things that go bump in the night. I like to think we'll all be able to settle down and just live.
Yeah.
It seems really, really far away right now.
He doesn't even look angry anymore at this point, just like he's holding onto a precipice.
Really far away.
I don't know what to say to make it better.
Me either. Go to sleep. You've got next watch.
Blue will doze off.
All right, Julian, and roll me a perception check.
$14.
14. Your watch passes without incident. You don't note coming or going along the road. Nothing but the regular nightlife, the distant sound of the waves.
I got wrapped up in the conversation. Forgot to tell you he wasn't gonna do his usual bird patrol during his watch.
Okay. Going where?
He can summon. I think it's 3, right?
Correct.
One keeping an eye over the camp, one on the road back towards Seaton, and one off in the direction of the carriage. I mean, yeah, I understand the carriage is probably out of range, but like make sure it's not like broken down on the side of the road or on fire or something like that.
Okay. So we'll say the 14 was your home field bird.
Sorry, I need to pull the thing up. A 19 for the one going back towards the city.
All right.
And Jesus Christ, a 9 for the one heading towards the carriage.
Okay.
Or following after the carriage.
One going after the carriage, don't see shit, unfortunately. The 19. What's the duration and how far can they go from you and you can still see?
I can communicate with them up to a mile.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see through their eyes up to the same distance.
Mm-hmm.
They last for 1 hour, so the ones going further out can basically travel 30 minutes out, 30 minutes back.
Right. Okay. So I'll say with only a 1 hour duration and 30 minutes out, 30 minutes back, it can't make it all the way. Not while actually like actively checking things out as it goes.
Right. Yeah.
It
yeah.
wouldn't make it all the way to Seaton. But it does make it a goodly ways, and with a 19, doesn't note any pursuers on horseback or otherwise. Seems very quiet.
When he wakes Gloob up for his watch, he'll... Didn't see anything, but... Yeah.
Okay. Do you see any trees around? Do you have any trees close by?
Some trees. No like super big ones, but there's some.
Get some sleep, Julian. Wake you guys up if anything happens.
Julian does, in fact, manage to get to sleep.
All right.
Do just a climb, then stealth in one of the trees nearby, and
Okay. You're not in any particular like rush, so getting up in the tree will be easy, and say be easy enough being able to take your time. But yeah, go ahead and roll a stealth check for me.
is this at advantage because, or not because it's based on sight?
This would be more of a visual. You're not active like sneaking past people. So yeah, this would be once you're getting still.
21.
21. Still very nice. Okay. All right. So you're posting up there. Go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
16 plus 4 for a total of 20.
Very nice. Dirty 20. So, Gloob, your hours creep by as you imagine primarily focusing your attention on the path from whence you came, and you're listening like straining for the sound of pursuit, and none seems to come. No thundering hoofbeats that y'all were concerned would be trying to pursue you. Nobody creeping through the woods. Your watch passes without incident.
Jakob. I'll wake up Jakob.
Okay.
I didn't see anything.
All right. Gonna have the goggles.
Yeah. Hand off the goggles to him.
All right.
Thank you.
That's your night vision himself.
Also, are there any decently sized sticks nearby?
Roll a survival check for me to search for stick.
Ooh, 22.
There is a very solidly sized stick. It's more of a branch almost, but sure.
All right. I would like to, while keeping an eye out, like to try to carve a little parrot chip.
Okay. So you're taking your branch and you're wanting to start to carve a pirate ship.
Yep.
All right. And I know I've asked you this before, but you are not proficient in wood carving tools, are you?
I don't believe so, but I did pick up a set of wood carving tools while I was in sea.
So better than with just your regular ass knife. So go ahead and roll me both a perception check as well as a straight dex check.
Well, perception's gonna be a 7.
You are very easily becoming enthralled in your work, despite your duties of being the Watcher of the Night.
And the dex check is a 7.
Also, so, nice. It's by the time your watch ends, and nothing seems to have bothered you. You've been really struggling to note much of anything at all, regardless of whether it's just wildlife or actually somebody who would put you and your friends in mortal peril. You're sat there, and what you've got is, I mean, it's carved, but it's kind of like just like a rectangle. It's in kind of an oddly proportioned rectangle at that. But I mean, it could be a boat. Boats can be rectangular. They don't have to be shaped that way.
All right. Also keep an eye out for any more wood that will work for wood carving.
Most wood would work for wood carving. There's a big difference between like ideal whittling wood and like wood carving wood. But yeah, I gotcha. So you could like use a lot of random ass wood as like practice material, probably with.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Pretty
talking
good
more
ease.
like something like maybe like that size.
Oh. So okay. You're looking for lumber. All right. So, all right. So your watch passes. You have your rectangle.
All right. I will wake up Bart.
Mr. Fairfurrow.
Oh, already. All right. Everything all right? Everything going
Yeah,
good?
I haven't seen anything. Take off the goggles and I'll put them next to Gloob.
All right. Yeah, let's go. Let's get at them. I'll mosey on over so I can keep an eye on the road. More of an ear out on the road, though.
Okay. do you pick up? Do you use the goggles?
I don't think Bart's ever used the goggles before.
Nope.
Yep.
Okay. Just checking. All right. Go ahead and roll a straight roll for me, Mr. Sentinel Shield.
15 plus a bonus plus 8, 23.
Very nice. Like Mr. Gloob, you keeping a very weather eye out, making notes of all of the random bits and bobs and smaller animals to larger animals. None of the larger seem to want a chance coming close to a relatively large group of humanoids, especially when one is already awake and shiny. But try
Sure.
as you might, don't hear any sounds of pursuit. No hoof falls. You guys creep into the wee hours. Well, actually, let me see. Y'all went to sleep relatively late at night, so it would be a little bit after. Hold on, let me see here. Okay, so actually, Bart, as your watch wears on and the sun steadily kind of creeps up the horizon, you see a small caravan of a couple of carts starting to kind of creep into your sight, headed from Seaton, heading towards you guys, and probably about the last 45 minutes or so of your watch as you see it kind of coming along, and slowly but surely it comes up, kind of comes even to you guys, and unless y'all are making any attempt to hide. Like y'all aren't immediately visible, but I mean you're closer to. I think you said you moved closer to the road to keep an eye on it, and you're in half plate.
Yeah.
So unless you were actively hiding, I'd kind of assume they would see you.
I was going to try and stealth, but I didn't say anything.
I mean, you did. I was just kind of talking, so if you would have liked to have tried to have hidden, you
14 could. Actually.
It's actually not that bad, all things considered.
Just kind of laying down in some bushes.
No, they do not. I actually don't notice. Just gave him a couple rolls for the entire group, and we got on the dice a 9 and a 1. So
Well,
very.
Can I make a second perception check since it's becoming light now for seeing if I notice any details before they get too close? Like, does it seem
specifically
like
trying to examine this caravan?
right?
Sure, go
Like,
ahead.
does it seem like can I see back into like any of the wagons, or if they're like open top wagons that it's not like have people in it or something like that, or whatever the case may be?
Go ahead and roll.
Okay. Ooh, 26.
26, very nice. So as you examine, it looks like one of them is an open top that just seems to have boxes and stuff, like some under, like with a tarp kind of going over the top, kind of holding things in. But from what under you can see, it's not like to hide it. It looks like it's very clearly to protect it from any potential elemental interference. Just a thick canvas tarp, but you can see boxes and other like wrapped goods and things from underneath it. That's the cart in front. The cart in the back, it's not a carriage like the one that you guys sent Mr. Stern and Julian's family off in. This is more of a wagon with the big kind of overcover, and you do see a small number of folks in it. A couple that appear to be armed and armored, like just I'd say actually. Do some quick math. 4 armed and armored individuals, a couple of just regular Joes that are in there.
You say armed and armored.
Like they appear like one, like a couple, like one appears to be in like leathers and has like a longbow slung across their back. The other 3, like one seems to also be in leathers and has like a couple of short swords at their belt, and the other 2 seem to like one has like a sword and a shield, and the other has like a big old maul. But they're just kind of riding along in the back.
Seems pretty suspicious.
Is a caravan that has goods and people in it, so they don't
do
appear to be wearing any like identifying marks. They just seem to be just kind of like scuffed arms and armor. They don't seem to be particularly fancy, but not like shitty either.
And it's two wagons.
2 wagons, one with the goods that has a driver on it, and then one the covered that is transporting those 4 armed individuals, as well as a couple of other folks that seem to be unarmored.
There's 4 armed individuals for 2 wagons.
Yeah, there's pretty sizable
wagons. Does that
wagons.
seem normal?
I mean, entirely possible, yeah. I mean, like you've seen like merchants guards, like it depends. The number depends less on the number of wagons and more upon the wealth of the individual.
Yeah. Right.
Because generally speaking, the more money you have, the more people you're gonna hire to guard your shit. So,
Right.
But 4 guys, they don't look particularly fancy. They don't have any tabards. Like they don't seem to belong to any like notable group.
Right.
Entirely possible that somebody that with a like that's doing pretty good mercantilely could hire on 4 guys.
Okay. Yeah. That's a tough call.
They don't seem to, and if it helps at all, they don't seem to be hurrying. I mean, they're moving at like a steady pace, but it's also one of those like they intend to keep moving for most of the day. Like it's one of those like the pace that the horses can keep up for long periods of time without having to stop. So going for distance, not the sprint.
Gotcha. All right, yeah, I'll go ahead and let them pass then. I don't think that they could probably get other means of traveling if they're going to travel rather than just hiring on as guards for a caravan. And this road is a road that goes other places. Like it's not just a direct road to Saltmarsh, right?
Yeah, that the road like it exits Seaton, and I mean one road does go directly to Saltmarsh. One kind of loops up and around, and it goes kind of past Saltmarsh, and kind of meets back up into the road that kind of then goes up towards Silver Stand and Burl.
Right. But basically, this is potentially a cart that's going somewhere not to Shell.
Entirely possible. Yeah, like things that can go further inland that are up into the east, and as well as it could be going somewhere completely different. Who knows?
Right. Get you.
Could be going to Gilbend.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's like I said. Like I know we had discussed like merchant caravans came through Gilbend and stopped and stuff on their way to the various and sundry places. So.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I feel confident that those fellows aren't pirates.
They don't look exactly like, they look kind of rough and tumble, but
Right.
it could
It's
be
one of-
pirates,
one-
but they could also
One
just
of
be
those,
mercenaries. Like,
right. It's one of those tense situations. Like, is it? Is it? Is it? Is it?
hmm.
Nah, it's all right.
As they get closer, you're like, I don't see any sea prince symbols.
I don't think they go around
Fireball
advertising.
So they don't have like they don't have the trident and the skull just emblazoned on their chests, like.
They don't have like forehead tattoos or anything
No.
like that, so
Yeah.
they're good in my book.
Sick.
None of them have eye patches, dual wielding fucking rapiers or falchions and stuff like that.
Well, one did have 2 short swords. So, I mean, that's dual wielding. Well, I guess a little more suspect. But anywho,
And I'm assuming some of those boxes look like they're nicer boxes, or something like that. Maybe
yeah,
if they get close
yeah,
by.
nothing looks like particularly shitty. Like I said, it is under kind of that canvas tarp, but I mean, it looks like merchant goods. Like you've seen enough merchant caravans. Like that's like, that looks like, oh, they might have like some like rugs or something in there. It's all kind
Right.
of stuff.
Okie doke. Yeah, I'll go ahead and let them pass, and if there isn't anything else, just kind of hang out until it's time to wake the rest of the fellas up.
I'll say by the time, y'all's long rest would end, that you hadn't seen anybody else. You definitely like indicative of there may very well be more people on the road now that it's daytime, but you don't see nobody else by the time you wake up the rest.
Were people that were leaving, like getting ready at pre-dawn for a long ass travel.
Yeah. Looks like they were like, we want to be gone as soon as the gates open.
Yeah.
We have places to be.
Cool.
Sure.
All right.
All right.
Well, all right, fellas. Looks like weren't any action on the road tonight or last night, so I guess let's get on with it.
Okay.
All right. So, as you all pick up all your gear and stuff and are now without horses, on foot, on the road of Saltmarsh. On the road to Saltmarsh, anyway. Speaking of, are y'all still intending to head all the way back to Saltmarsh? What is y'all's plan? Y'all have passed the night. Y'all have not seen any pursuers.
Probably head
It
to
is yours.
Julian's old house, right?
Y'all do have. There's a farmer that has Jakob's horse, as well as
Some
Gonna say,
horses.
I
some
that
don't
we
other,
left
yeah,
there.
some horses y'all left there. They all paid him to look after.
We sure as shit didn't bring his boat back, guys.
That wasn't that guy's boat. Different guy.
That was Julian's village. We stopped at somewhere before
Right,
that
right.
to drop off the horses. So we don't even have to go see that guy.
Y'all could just like la 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 cross that bridge. Well, we have to.
You get on the other side of the road so they don't see us.
I thought we traded horses at one place and then left
Correct.
our horses back at Julian's village.
You
right?
traded. You left your second set of horses at Julian's village.
Right.
You left Cecil and the horses that you guys had from Saltmarsh at that other farm.
So, Julian's village
Has
then that other
that
farm,
guy's
and
has
that's
that
it.
guy's horses. It's a lot of
Good
horses.
times.
Or
Good
we
times.
just let him have those horses because he's out of a boat.
I mean, Julian was gonna pay him for the or pay him to retrieve his boat or something.
Okay.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not like it was
See,
left
last
a
time we
country
tried to-
over. It was left like
Y'all got a lot more money than I do.
Y'all
I'm
are.
just gonna say, last time we tried to pay for a boat, it was like 3,000 gold. Which I know that's not a 3,000 gold boat.
It's a much
but
smaller boat.
Yeah, I don't think we mean buy the boat outright as much as sorry, bro, you're gonna have to deal with this pain in the neck logistics now.
Yeah, this is more of a like just going by like equipment list. This is not quite a rowboat, but it's most definitely not a keel boat. The keel boat was the 3,000 gold boat that y'all thought about. So the rowboat, this would be closer to like 100, 150 probably all told, because it's a little bigger, plus it has an actual sail and mast. So anywho, so y'all are also pretty far from that village. So
I
Yeah.
mean, we're pretty far
Um,
from everything, from what I understand,
pretty
except
far from a lot of things.
Time to get walking.
time to get walking.
Yeah. So like just for everybody who's watching's context as well as y'all's own, I'm gonna battle map, but also I gotta reimpose the. I have to make just a map screen. Someone needs to remind me to do that at some point because I always forget and then I just end up doing this. There we go. Oh, that's all over my face. Oops. There we go. All right. I also need to swap out the map. So y'all have left Seaton down here. You see where your little dot is labeled Seaton. Y'all have then traveled. Y'all are, if you're counting dots, y'all traveled about 4 dots out probably in the night, maybe somewhere between 3 and 4. Y'all are riding pretty fast, and y'all are riding for close on an hour from Seaton. So y'all have to loop up to where it kind of crosses that river. And then y'all need to kind of go back down, get into that bend, and y'all that his village is probably about let me see. We're gonna count dots from Saltmarsh. So underneath that L, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So about that 7th dot, that little spot where it juts out, coming from Saltmarsh towards Seaton, that 7th little dot where that juts out right there, that's about where his village is.
Okay.
So following the road, y'all have to kind of loop up and go all the way down and around, hit his village, go a little bit farther, and hit his house. Because Julian's village was usually about a day's travel for him when he was going from his village to Saltmarsh to do trade and things. Y'all just
Right.
rode really hard for 8 hours, and were able to make up that same distance. So y'all know that with this on foot, this is going to take y'all about 4 days ish to get there. Without horses, y'all are significantly slower
To get to the village
to get to
or
his
to get
village.
to Saltmarsh?
To get to his village.
Much longer to get to Saltmarsh.
Yeah. Oh well, I mean, I guess we don't have any choice right now.
So yeah, so let me see, because we said about from there to there is about a day. So yeah, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. Yeah. So yeah, all told, y'all, it would take a little over 5 days to get to Saltmarsh on foot. So once you get horses, it'll probably speed you up a good bit, unless you guys try to run them into the ground again. Which is entirely up to you. But now, that is not what y'all are doing. So, if y'all are beginning your first day's travel, somebody roll a d20 for me.
I got this. 16.
16? Oh god, that's very bright. Jesus Christ. Okay. So, on this first day, as the day starts to wear on, kind of not like a fog rolls in from the coast, kind of coming in, not too terribly thick, but definitely obstructing y'all's visibility. It's a very kind of gloomy, overcast sort of day as y'all wear on, and y'all are on foot. I'll spend your day. People are starting to. You do get some traffic coming and going. People are slowing down to make sure as they go along the roads. As they come along the roads, either coming to or coming from Seaton. People pass you guys. They're usually moving pretty quick. They either expect y'all to move off to the side since y'all are on foot, or kind of yell at you if you don't. But
Yeah.
nobody particularly stopping to question.
Any carts?
Yeah, there's a
If there's
couple.
one that doesn't look like packed to the brim, Julian would try and hail it.
So probably pretty easy to do so. Yeah, what you want?
Where you heading, sir?
Oh god, that's 2. Heading up to Gilbend. Dropping off some fish. Do a bit
Will
of
you be
bargaining.
passing by? Oh, fuck! I forgot the name of the town. Whitecrest, was it?
Whitecrest, yeah. Oh, you're asking him if he's gonna be
Yeah,
passing past
yeah.
Whitecrest? Probably so.
Could we ride in the back? There's a couple gold in it for you.
Looks over you and your friends. Two of whom are in plate, and one of whom is a frog. Roll a persuasion check for me. And you, who has a shark face.
Guidance.
Most
B8.
trustworthy of the group.
Do I get the guidance or do I not get the guidance?
Already rolled the dice.
All right,
Negatory
12.
Ghost Rider. 12? Looks y'all over. I think y'all are doing just fine on your own. I'm good.
Very well,
thanks.
sir. Have a good day.
Now lingering on, eyes on like weapons and stuff among the four of you. Keeps on
Kinda-
driving his cart.
Hope you don't need help anytime soon,
See if he
asshole.
didn't hear you. It's an old guy. Lost
He
his
doesn't know
hearing.
us. We might be dangerous for all he knows.
We are
And we are.
dangerous.
Just not to him.
I
Uh,
tried.
Glue will. You said there was some traffic going towards
Yeah,
Seaton.
There's a little bit of traffic going both ways, yeah.
Some of those carts that are going towards Seaton, Glue will meander in the road a little bit, not moving out of way as fast, to slow them down a little bit. And I'm gonna keep my eye out for one that might be carrying firebrand. Be looking into the backs of wagons and stuff as they go by.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a perception check for me. Wait, no. One. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay.
That's doing math.
8.
8. You kind of get through it, and some of them kind of, hey, wait! Standing in the road! Move! But,
Sorry, I don't know how these work.
what do you mean it's a horse? Kind of going past, trundling on past as you kind of examine these. None of them look like jail wagons, prisoner wagons.
Okay.
Alright. And so, y'all's first day of travel passes without incident. Gloob, I assume you stop to
At the
soak.
river.
Yeah, when you guys get to the river. You probably got a little tired, a little dry during your day's travels because over the first few hours, I believe, because it would have taken you about another hour or two to get there. But how long do you have to soak? You don't have to soak that long.
An hour, I
An
believe.
hour? Okay. So you'll lose about an hour of travel time, but
Yeah, 1 hour.
now soaked. Yes, Jakob.
While I was doing that, I would like to continue trying to make a pirate ship.
Roll another
least the
dexterity
start of
check
it.
for me. How big is this, by the way? Like, how big are we talking here?
I'd probably want it to be
Like this
that
big?
big.
Like,
yeah, about as big as the shark and the fist.
So, little like, kind of finger to bottom of palm.
4.
4. You cut yourself a little bit. Or you would if you weren't wearing gauntlets. Maybe that's part of the problem. You're over there trying to whittle in the gauntlets. You kind of like goes off and like strikes some sparks off of some chainmail, and you're like,
Toss it over my
maybe this is
shoulder.
the problem. But it was kind of by the end is kind of hacked, and you're like, you lost too much wood, so you're probably gonna need to start with a new piece. All right. But getting a little further past on y'all's travel, kind of starting to make it up past the ridge. You end your day a little closer to the ocean than you guys were last night. So you actually hear kind of in just the faint distance. This would be more in you're now like a football field a distance away from the ocean at this juncture. But y'all's kind of light starts to fade from the sky. Are y'all gonna stop?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be traveling too super hard on this particular journey, are we?
No,
Do you
do
guys?
we've already pushed ourselves to the limit on enough occasions. I don't think it would be a good idea to continue doing so.
Oh, I see. We rush for your family, but when Cecil's on the line,
God damn.
What?
Pirates
Cecil
don't
in
have
danger?
Cecil.
you don't know that.
They're questioning his horse right now. They got druids out in the seas.
Oh no.
He'll spill everything. He's a snitch.
Can I put water in the bag of holding? And then dump it into the tub? The
Not-
collapsible tub?
Not outside of a container, I wouldn't say.
Okay.
I think I would have to say a liquid needs to be in something in order to be able to easily rest within the bag of holding. I think otherwise, because then it's not a singular entity, which I think is largely how the bag of holding functions. You have to like will the object you're seeking into your hand when you reach in, from my understanding of the item.
I want to point out my amusement that I typed in, "Can you fill a bag of holding with?" and it auto-completed water.
Water.
I was like,
Yeah.
like, okay, that's apparently a frequently searched thing.
Probably for one of these exact reasons. People are like, I need water and I don't have a decanter. But I mean, so this night at least y'all are closer by to some water, much more easily approachable, and you know that kind of as y'all swing back and forth, y'all will probably for the most of your journey be a little closer to the water. Y'all probably have another like day and a half or so of being a little farther away after tonight. So.
Yeah, if it's nighttime that first day, I'll take this opportunity to shoot out some messages.
Sure. Yeah. So as y'all are kind of traveling along.
Well, no, I mean just before we're gonna.
Just
start
before
the-
bed. Okay, gotcha.
Just before
Gotcha.
bed.
You're probably getting like puppy dogged by Julian towards after
Yeah.
camp setup. Just kind of like,
Oh yeah, we're getting it. Don't worry, you're getting it right now. It's fucking sitting right next to Bart, all up in his personal space.
He's
Absolutely.
looming over you. Hey there.
he didn't want to be pushy, so he's probably not said anything. Just kind of frequent, like looking over at you, waiting.
Yeah.
What messages
All
you
right.
sending?
Hey, any chance you were thinking about reaching out to folks tonight?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was about to do that.
Oh, good.
Still has not moved away from you at all.
Yeah, I'll send out a message to Abby.
Okay.
All
Abby
right.
is the sister-in-law. Just to
Simone.
clarify.
Oh, okay. All right, there we go. Simone, yeah,
Simona's wife.
Simone's fine. I need to redo that. I think I've already made that mistake once. Okay. Anyway, I'll send the message out to Simone. And,
Okay.
All right. First day. How'd it go? Y'all all right?
That it?
And I'll just add in like after a short pause, we're fine.
What'd she say?
I'm
Very,
waiting.
very, very, very brief pause before responsive. Our first day has gone well as well. So far, so good. Some more travelers on the road, but nobody that Mr. Stern or myself have deemed suspicious.
Everything's going fine. They passed some wagons, and that was the extent of their excitement for the day.
Wagon.
Passed some other folks on the road, I mean to say. Not anything in particular.
Right.
I said these roads aren't like they're not exactly bustling, but y'all have seen people pass each
Yeah, you
way
said you
throughout the
passed
day. Not like a ton, but some.
Thank you, Bart.
We should ask if Taro is practicing with the short bow.
Maybe not yet.
Yeah, well, I'll add that on for the next one. I kind of
Okay.
want to message a few other folks as well. Now that we got a little bit of free time. And I will attempt to send a message to Julian's brother.
Okay. All right. What you saying?
Hey, we know the doctor's got you. You all right? Any information you can give us? Coming.
Let us see if he is in a condition to respond. Okay. Significant pause. And kind of a still vaguely kind of slurred, but you know, a little more to it than before, which mostly you just kind of got like confirmation of life last time. What, doctor? I don't know who are you? Where are you? What? A lot of confusion, but still alive.
That's fair.
Okay. I will go ahead and send one more to him and be like, I'm a friend of your brother. Are you hurt or harmed? We want to try and get you out. Julian. Correcting myself at the end of it.
They conked me on the head pretty good originally, but I'm fine mostly now. I'm not still on a boat. Not quite sure where we're going.
All right. Well, Julian, your brother, I talked to him a little bit. He's still on a boat. He's still in transit to wherever they're taking him. He hadn't even gotten there yet. So I reckon we're.
That's good.
Yeah, well, I mean, it means it's going to take us over a week to get there.
Depends on when they transported him, but probably.
And I will shoot off one more message. Let me check my spell slots just in case.
Yeah, you just shut off 3.
I will shoot off one more to Firebrand.
Okay.
Firebrand, you all right? You know anything about what's going to be happening to you? Let us know. We're trying to make this right.
Got 1 left. Or I think you have 6 left. I have a very hard time keeping track of these. Fingers are hard. All right.
Nope, I just keep them brief.
Okay. Moments pass. I know that I've been arrested for treason, and I'm being transported back to Seaton to stand trial for my crimes. On the way there now.
Does it say by land or boat, this motherfucker? On an indiscriminate vessel at the boat. Okay, that's all I got. I can't do anything else.
All right.
I look outside and see the sky.
I sent a message to Firebrand. He's in transit at the moment. He's already left Saltmarsh. They're taking him to Seaton as we speak.
All right.
Well, might bump into him.
What do we do if we do?
Free him.
I look at Jakob.
As much as I think that's a terrible idea, I don't believe we would be capable of doing that with the men that usually guard traitors, especially political traitors, or
Well,
people
obviously, not if
have-
it's beyond our capabilities. But if there's some conspiracy afoot and they're throwing him under the cart,
If they're coming by if they're coming by wagon or carriage or whatever, and we come across them, we might be able to at least talk to Firebrand. Might be able to say, "Hey, we're legal counsel. We can't get a hold of them. Y'all been keeping them away from us. I need to talk to my employer or client or whatever the term is they use, or
I
something
don't know
like
what that means.
I don't know.
I'm not sure that would work, but we could definitely try it.
I don't know how laws work. I read it in a book. That's how trials and stuff happen.
Okay.
well, if they're less capable than a band of Sahuagin commandos, then I don't see why we couldn't do what we wished.
I mean, that would cause a shit ton of chaos and would definitely make him guilty of at least some crimes.
Julian, what? Why have you gotten so eager for the blood of men who are just trying to do their jobs? Because
Hold on.
now, hold on, because we don't know that these men have anything to do with the framing of firework. They could just be men that are doing their job and are just trying to make do their job.
The cackling was for firework, not for what you said. I am so
Oh,
sorry.
did I say firework?
Yeah. Great.
I'm so sorry. I promise this is not an in-character reaction.
It was lovely.
I was like the
Imagining the carriage, like an armored carriage, Firebrand's inside. He just hears a bunch of people getting fucked up outside, and then fucking Julian just rips the top of the hatch off and like, Firebrand, baby, you're a firework.
and then puts the hatch back. That's it.
That's all I had to say.
Okay.
If there's conspiracy afoot, and they've taken to framing their own to try and manipulate the situation, they're no better than bandits.
So any guardsmen we should just kill.
We give them an option. I'm not chasing anybody.
I doubt we'll be on the advantageous end of numbers in a situation where they're carrying similar to that military standing.
All right. That's why I said if it was within our capability.
I'm not just talking about the people who would be at the caravan. I'm talking about people in Saltmarsh. If we see a guardsman in Saltmarsh, we just kill him. Because he's potentially working to frame Firebrand. Is that what we should do?
Is that guard between us and something important that we need to do that is more important?
Might have information about Firebrand. We should knock him out.
Let's pull back on the reins real quick. First off, we shouldn't be killing nobody. Okay? Let's just go ahead and get that out on the table.
I'm just trying to understand who we should be killing if they're working for this mysterious people that are framing Firebrand.
I mean,
because it seemed that this topic has come up pretty often.
You can give a mercenary all kinds of jobs. Don't mean they believe in what they're doing, right? I mean, they could be getting transported by folks who are just doing a job, right?
But these aren't mercenaries. These are Crown's Guard, or soldiers of the Crown.
Yeah.
I think his point remains the same. You say they are people simply doing a job. But it was made clear to us when we were in the city that they are aware that something is afoot, or they wouldn't have been so loath to speak about Saltmarsh and to step around it. They are clearly aware that there is something distasteful going on relating to it.
Right, but I doubt them guards know what it is. They just got orders to bring Firebrand in, and they got to do what they got to do. Right?
But they are aware that they are potentially getting involved in something where people are getting screwed over.
I don't know. They could be fucking idiots. They could just be like, "Oh, he's a traitor. We got to bring him in."
And
They
hopefully they will
eat that
run
shit
their
up.
idiot little tails away.
And then we become wanted fugitives of the crown.
Apparently, it's a very easy thing to do, even if you do exactly what you were supposed to do. Or Firebrand would not be in his current predicament.
So
The
what
moral
you're
of the story is there's nothing you can do to do right by these people.
So what you're suggesting is we become crown traitors by helping an accused traitor escape. And then now we have the crown going after us, not only us, but our families. And that makes the situation that Firebrand's in better how?
I'm no particular friend of Firebrand's, and I'm not saying we need to make this decision now.
Well, when
Listen to me, please. The things you told me prior, I put serious thought into, especially after my anger had passed in the moment. So do me a favor and think as well. This is getting twistier and twistier. And it seems to me we are going to have to draw a line in the sand at some point and decide whether we want to do what is right or to do what is legal. Because whether or not it is your rule of law that is at fault, someone is manipulating the situation and people are getting screwed.
when that cart comes rolling down the road, let's say it's tomorrow, we're not going to have time to sit here for an hour or even 5 minutes to discuss the morals of whether we're killing the people inside in that caravan, which I think both Bard and I have made expressly clear we don't want to do, we're not going to do, and I'm making clear I am not going to become a fugitive of the law. I'm
You
not
already
going
are,
to.
Jakob. I know it's
Also
news
that.
to you. But Garthman has just got you out of there in maybe just for a few hours, maybe just for a few days. But Garthman allowed you out because he knew what we were doing was right. So I'm sorry that we put you in that position, but you already are. If I have to put my 2 cents in about what we do if we come across Firebrand, we need to talk to Firebrand. Maybe he knows more, or at least can give us some sort of clue. And if we think that, or he thinks that he is in mortal danger and we think that we can save his life, we don't have to kill anyone. We can give him a bonk on the head and make sure we save a man's life.
He
And
is
yeah.
in danger, Blue. The
Potentially.
charges against me. He is currently in mortal danger. The charges against him levy death.
Well, in that case, let's save his life. I don't know that.
This is entirely up to y'all.
Well, I mean, a decision is going to have to get made. If we try to save Firebrand in the absolute legal means, we're going to have to get really lucky, and it's going to be going back to Seaton to do it.
Which apparently I can't do.
And it's going to take time to do it. Because we're going to have to figure out somehow to prove his innocence.
We don't even know if Firebrand would be willing to
Escape with us?
Yeah.
Right.
God,
So-
if your brother's still sailing, then God knows how far this place is away. So he could be put to death before we even get back. I think we at least need to tell him that we're willing to get him out of there.
If he's got any type of information, we need to get it from him. I can't send him any more messages tonight, but I can do it first thing in the morning. I'll try to get some messages to him, and hopefully nothing befalls us on the road. But if he's going by boat, that's gonna be an issue, right? Because he's gonna be in Seaton, and we're gonna be halfway to Saltmarsh.
Yeah, there's nothing we can do if he's on boat. It's if we get lucky. Unfortunately, that's what it's going to come down to right now.
Now, if I can communicate with him and he'll send me enough information of I didn't do it, talk to Anders, he's trying to prove me right, he's going to need some help or something like that, we might be able to get something done. But that's a big if.
My assumption if Anders could do something, he would have already done it.
These are things I'd rather do. They're legal and right. And we can put, I mean, we've made friends.
If we can do it, if we can do it your way, yeah. I'm for it, Jakob. If we can do it your way. But I'll say it like this. You stood in the same room that I did with Firebrand. Every time he sent us on a mission, you thought he was a good man just like I did. You willing to let him die?
If the king finds enough evidence to prove that he's been working with the Sea Princes, then yes.
What if that evidence was fabricated, which, based on the lies and deceit we've already faced, is incredibly likely?
Right. I don't think there's a matter of there being enough evidence against him. I think there's a matter of there not being any evidence for him.
He's being arrested because they've already made their decision, Jakob.
He's being arrested because there's charges pressed against him, just like I was arrested because there were charges pressed against me, or an investigation.
This is
Apparently
a manipulated
now it's
situation,
charges.
Jakob.
Some type of political stuff's going on. Someone didn't send troops to help out Saltmarsh, and now they're trying to put that blame on somebody else because of whatever reasons they didn't send them or didn't want to send them or couldn't send them. Feel like whatever the case is, Firebrand's life is an easy price to pay for him. That's not right. It's not an easy situation to be in. It's not the right thing to do, though.
People like that, it comes down to either money or power. He's being sold for one of the two or both, under the guise of a court of law. That sits right with you?
All I know at this point is somebody has fabricated it. Fabricated the fact that he's been working with the Sea Princes, which, if he did, it might have very well been the same situation that we're in right now. Because, fortunately for all four of us, we also are working for the Sea Princes, which is treason.
I'm working for me. The Sea Princes have motives that align with mine.
Well, when that favor gets called in, you will be working for the Sea Princes, according to the law. Whatever you want to call it, according to the law, that is what it is.
And at that time, that will be true.
And if anybody ever finds out about it, they'll group us in with the Sea Princes, which I very much dislike.
I'm doing it to save my family. They can fuck what they like.
That, again, it's the way the court will view it if they find out about it.
And they're welcome to try and arrest me for it.
That very well might be what the situation that Firebrand might be in. And we just might need to find some evidence that might lessen charges and might save his life. but we at this point don't know.
And
We
what
don't
if you're
know
wrong?
what the connection is.
What if they've already decided they want to hang him as a scapegoat? And they're gonna have evidence aplenty that they have manufactured. What then? Are you gonna
Uh,
counter a predetermined court case? With evidence that they are surely likely to have already found a way around. That's not a battle you can win when they control the courts.
I'm worried that Julian's right.
Do
My
y'all-
lack of
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm worried that Julian's right, not because I'm cynical of your governments. I know nothing about them, but because Garthman told us to find evidence for Firebrand. Someone within there told us to find evidence for Firebrand's innocence, which means he knows something.
From what I understand, he told us to find out if his words were, if you believe he is innocent, then you will need to find evidence.
Maybe. Yeah.
That's different than somebody believing that he is innocent and somebody else needs to find evidence about it. I believe that he is innocent, and I will find what I can to prove his innocence.
I think our issue is the timing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we don't have an army. If he is taken to Seaton and he is taken to the prison, there is nothing we can do to get him out. We are 4 people. We will die trying to take him out of the city. There is nothing that can change that.
I don't care enough about Firebrand to try and get him out of the city. I've got more important people to save. If you care about his life, you'll try and do something before he makes it there. Maybe I'm wrong.
We can find out in the morning how he's being taken. If he's being taken by boat, the conversation's over, right? We can try to find evidence, but that's about all we can do. Our best hope that we have for getting Firebrand out, if we can't find evidence soon, or if he's already on a boat, is that if they have some sort of really long thing to where it's going to take 2 months before it goes in the trial, and he's just going to be sitting in jail for a long time before it gets seen to. I don't know how likely that is. I don't know if it's going to be fast tracked and get it over with, make a spectacle of it, and get it over and done with. But if that don't happen, then if we go to rescue Julian's brother, he's going to be gone by the time we get back.
If I am right, and again, Jakob, I would like nothing more than to be wrong about this conspiracy deal. But if I am right, they're gonna want to bury the evidence as quickly as possible. And that means burying Firebrand.
Then, I mean, there's nothing we can do because we need to save your brother. We won't find the evidence if they bury it in the however long it takes to find your brother.
Hence why I said, if y'all want to save Firebrand, my 2 cents would be to do so on the road, if he is indeed on the road. But I fear that if he makes it to the city, with or without any amount of evidence, that is his death sentence.
Yeah.
I will not participate in any attack on any of the soldiers, be it lethal or non-lethal.
All right. I understand that.
And past finding your brother and killing this doctor, if y'all decide to do that, decide to do the attack on the caravan, past finding the doctor and your brother, when we return to Saltmarsh, I'll turn myself into the crown for the crimes that would have been performed by y'all.
Well, if you didn't involve yourself, then you won't be at fault for it.
I would be, because I didn't try to stop you.
I don't think that's
That's
legally
fine.
your responsibility.
It's the legal responsibility of any citizen of the king to kill traitors.
Outside of a conscription, you are under no obligation to take up arms.
And I was part of the militia in Sweden.
Are you now?
I still hold my oaths to the king and my country as importantly as I did that day. And any citizen of the king has a moral responsibility to kill traitors.
No citizen.
However you feel about the king, that is what the moral responsibility is.
There's no legal responsibility.
I think you and the king will have disagreeing opinions on that.
I don't think the king would like to meet me.
Yeah, go roll a quick intelligence check for me.
It's a 4. No, it's
not
a 3.
It's not a 1. That's not necessarily true. Maybe to inform upon traitors and turn them in, however, the citizenry would not be expected to confront and attack traitors necessarily. You'd be expected to turn them in, but not necessarily to fight them. Committing suicide is not required by the crown if that is not your forte. But sheltering and like aiding and abetting,
I would be aiding and abetting and not helping the guards or going and getting help for the guards or going to turn in the party after what they've done to the guards.
I got a way that we might be able to help them escape if we can find them in transit. If we can convince the guards to let us talk to them, might be able to get them free in a matter of just a couple of seconds.
Just kind of looking at you, waiting.
I might have an ability to touch a person and send them someplace else, and then they'll come back after a while. And if I might be able to do that to Firebrand and have him just be gone and come back later after, I guess, the cart that he's in is moseyed on by. I'm not exactly sure. I've never done it before.
Someplace else. Like what place else?
I'm not quite sure.
Sounds a little strange.
It from what I understand is if you have like a devil or a demon, it'll send them back home.
I don't think he's a devil or a demon.
Right, but if he ain't one of those things, it just sends them someplace else, like in a timeout.
I think I'd have to see this to understand it. But, again, more than welcome to captain this little venture.
Just for clarification, I'm talking about banishing.
Yeah,
while he's in transit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. Julian has no fucking clue what you're talking about.
Okay. Just making sure that was clear.
Yeah.
If you haven't done it before, do you want to try it on one of us? I'm not volunteering. I'm not volunteering anybody else.
It's one of the hardest things. One of the hardest things I've probably ever done before, so I'll probably only get one shot to do it. So probably just save it and wing it.
So how are you proposing we get the opportunity? You said you have to touch him.
Right. Well, I imagine if he's being carried by land, they're not going to be moving 24/7. They'll have to stop at some point. If we can find out where they are, then we might be able to wait for them to camp down somewhere. Might be able to, if I can just sneak in or just be able to touch him, I'm pretty certain I can do it.
Is banishment a range of touch?
No, but I imagine
Okay.
they would have him inside something, right?
Right.
It's a 60-foot range.
Yeah, that was what I was saying. I was like, keep saying touch. And I'm like, I don't think banishment's a range of touch. Okay, just clarifying.
I mean, if he had bars or something on whatever cage he's in, I might be able to see him and just do it. But, that's a big but. And that's also out of character. That's also determined on how the DM rules someone appearing back into a cart that was moving, or does it appear back where they got banished from?
Rules is written, he's gonna appear back in the space he was in.
Right.
But
That,
that's,
however,
again,
sets a
rules.
precedent of if you guys ever get banished or banish
boat.
somebody on a boat, dangerous
Yeah.
precedent to set. just a thought. So
I want to say I've actually read something on Reddit about something like that happening.
yeah, your ass gets
mean,
banished on a boat and that boat's moving.
But it was
Rules
it was
is
a
written.
horse-
You're
was a chase
fucked.
scene on horses.
And you just go, and then you pop back into existence. You just plink into the water, just in the middle of the ocean.
The one I read was like a chase scene on horses, and the whole chase like progressed, and then the person plopped back and was just like, "Well, I'm fucking here now, I guess."
Where'd everybody go?
Yeah.
Kent froze.
Yep,
Oh, I thought
yeah,
you
he
were sitting
did.
very still.
So did I for a second.
Let's go ahead and print screen that real quick.
We lost
Ain't
him,
coming back.
boys.
Damn.
Well, on that note, to give us some time, instead of as you guys go lay down for the night, while y'all are still discussing conversations for potentially freeing Firebrand or whatever, what and all plans you may have, we're gonna go ahead and take a break because it's already
Hey.
9:30. So we're gonna take a quick step away, refresh drinks, get up, stretch your
Food.
legs, walk around, maybe food if you need some snacks. But we're gonna be right back. I suggest you do the same, but don't leave the channel. Don't go anywhere on your computer. If you need to walk away from your computer, by all means, do so. I encourage it. But we'll be right back. Bye.
Bye.
And hello.
Hello.
We're back again. So, my mic is bent
Yes,
away
sir.
from my face because I was eating.
Telephone.
Shut up. My goodness. We return for a second quarter. Last quarter of the 3 quarters of this tonight's Ghost Saltmarsh session. Because we ran a little late before going on break. But that's fine. Anywho, last we left off like 20 minutes ago or so, a little more than that, our fine heroes had exited Seaton, accompanying one Julian family, one Arosi family, plus one James Stern, getting a little bit outside of town, maybe an hour or so at a pretty quick pace. They then pulled off to the side, having determined that the best thing for them would to send them on their way, initially to Gilbend, and then on to elsewhere, for them to lay low and hopefully remain unnoticed and uncaptured while the party took care of business. The party, however, stayed behind to keep an eye out for any pursuers, hopefully to waylay them in the night, and to then proceed on their own path. The night passed rather uneventfully, not seeing any pursuers of any kind, either sneaky or speedy. But getting up the next morning, they began to trek on foot, planning to head on all the way to Saltmarsh, stopping by Julian's village of Whitecrest, as well as to pick up horses and let a fisherman know that his boat was going to be impounded probably in the relatively near future, or if it hadn't already, based on time, as well as to pick up the horses they left there to then proceed on to a farm a little closer to Saltmarsh to drop those horses off, pick up their original horses, which include Cecil, Jakob's horse, and then proceed on to Saltmarsh. Passing their first full day of travel, anyway, pretty peacefully. A bit of fog coming in, noting some other travelers. They had no instructions. They came to the night where they decided to discuss their plans, what exactly they were going to do, inevitably coming up on what they were going to do about Firebrand. After a bit of moral back and forth about whether it was right or wrong to free him or to, injure guards that potentially had nothing to do with the conspiracy outside of doing as ordered and doing their jobs, arresting a accused man. They decided, so far anyway, as we left while they were in the midst of this conversation, that if he was on land, they would see what they could do, hopefully having to use violence only as a means of last resort, with Jakob stating that he would abstain from any violence against the guards. However, he would not interfere either. And that's where we kind of hop ourselves back in here as the night grows long. Bart proposing perhaps being able to banish Firebrand from wherever he is kept to hopefully, finagle him away a little sneaky-like. Gentlemen, is there further that you would like to discuss? I believe you had been about to say something, Bart, when you were having some issues. Seeing you had a very ponderous expression and had one finger pressed to your lips.
I have
no idea. That's fair. It's been a little bit.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think it is a dangerous precedent to set to have banishment displace you from vehicles.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and say we'll probably not do that. You'll pop back in where you were, considering this is a sea-based campaign. It's a little iffy.
All right. Okie doke. Well, in any case, regardless if it'll work that way or if it won't work that way, if I can get that trick to work on the guards or what have you, I mean, it don't matter if he's on a boat when I message him in the morning. So we got to take the next step after that. So I say we get a good night's rest and see what happens in the morning.
If you're gonna be reaching out to him again, might as well ask him if he even wants rescued.
Yeah.
No point in putting ourselves physically and legally at risk for a man that doesn't want the help.
Right. I agree wholeheartedly. Well, I guess I'll do last watch. I'll put up the dome this time.
Well,
I'll go ahead and put up the dome, get food going really nice. It's good.
it's good. It's good.
It's good.
It's good. Nice.
All the standard fanfare.
Fantastic.
I'll
probably
make sure
gonna need to
that,
restock at some point in the near future, but
yeah,
we're eating some real fancy potatoes right now.
Making sure to every night set the horn to a healing potion.
So you have a healing potion. Does it last for 24 hours, or what's the duration on the, how long does it last?
I think it works in a similar fashion to Goodberry, to where you can, like, it lasts for a certain amount of time. So if you do it the day before,
right,
the liquid will stay in there, but you can only do it, like, it'll reset at dawn. So I could drink that healing potion and then technically use it to generate another healing potion,
right.
but then
because since its wording is dawn, not long rest.
right.
A little tricky little things, aren't they? Them their rules is written. But anywho, all right. So you guys dome it up, maybe a little more conspicuous, but much more safe physically anyway.
Yeah, it can't be used till next dawn and lasts 24 hours.
There you go. So here you can double dip. But if you double dip in one day, you
Yeah.
won't be able to. You can only do that. You can double dip every other day.
Yeah.
I think is how that math works out. But that being said, I'm gonna save us all some time. So you guys keep your watches throughout the night. You are undisturbed within your much more comfortable, like your climate controlled dome, as I believe Namen's Tiny Hut functions.
Yeah.
Doesn't do much for the ground, but I mean, at least the temperature is comfortable. But making it through your night, you wake up at the morning on your second day of travel. I assume intending to continue on your path. So if somebody else would like to roll a d20 for me.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Oh, no, I won't.
Oh, Chris, Jacob, did you roll? Okay. We can't hear you, buddy, if you're talking.
Hello?
There you are.
Hey, there we go.
I'm getting headphones once I can. New headphones. 15.
15. Okay.
Flashbang.
No.
Good lord. All right. Oh god, I keep checking other things. Okay. The fog has burnt off from the day previous, and the rising sun kind of doing away with it, not continuing to be overcast, so it isn't able to stick around too much further inland. You guys begin your day's journey anew, continuing on, seeming to every now and then, mostly either individuals on horseback or one up to two, not really more than two carriages in any singular caravan, heading towards Saltmarsh anyway, lazily kind of going past to or fro. But as you guys make your way around, let me double check our map here, kind of swinging into where you're the most furthest inland that you'll probably be for the entirety of your journey. As we kind of come into our night here, kind of starting to pass into a copse of some trees and other things, not like crazy, nothing crazy, but a little more in this little kind of bundle as you're coming into nighttime. If I could just get a quick round of perception checks from everybody.
18.
18. Okay.
22.
22. Okay.
8.
8. Okay.
This was for throughout the day, correct?
Nope.
It's for a watch?
Nope.
8.
8. Okay. Gloom and Julian, you see nothing. y'all are busying yourselves, like looking around for wood for Bart's cook fire or something of the like.
Fires a crossbow bolt into the air. Try to catch it on the way back down.
What?
You're fine. You have no idea where it goes.
Did y'all see where that went through?
Huh? What was that?
Julian's helping you look for it. That's why he also got me.
Yeah, he was like, where'd the fucking crossbow go? Hope it didn't hit anybody. Jakob and Bart, both of you guys, however, as y'all are kind of settling in, I imagine, similar as y'all have been, just a little off the road. A little, looks like maybe somebody else is camping a little close by. You see a little light in the distance, a little further into the sparse trees. Doesn't look like it's a big fire, but definitely light of some kind of fire. It's kind of getting into this later evening.
I'm sorry. This is the evening before we've gone to sleep?
Correct.
Okay.
This is y'all kind of stopped to camp, and as things started to get darker, that firelight a little farther into the woods. I say into the woods, air quotes, but further into the underbrush and things stood out enough that you both took notice.
Is the dome already up?
I don't know. Would you have set that up first thing?
No, I would probably set it up a little bit closer to us going to bed in this area, just so that it would last a full 8 hours.
There you go.
It's
Yeah, I
like-
figure you guys would go through like getting dinner and eat and
Yeah.
relieve yourselves as you may need to, and then pile into the dome. So you can go to sleep. But yeah.
Yeah, if Jakob's nearby or if Jakob's nearby or something like that, like, hey, it looks like we got neighbors over there. Might as well go say hey, maybe. Do a little bit of trading if they got some fresh meat. That'd be pretty good.
All right. I'll come with you.
All right. Yeah, just move on along.
Okay.
A guy in full plate and a guy in a half plate just mosey on into your camp in the middle of the night.
Okay.
But no, as we
That's
get
not
closer, we're like,
terrifying or anything.
oh there, hey.
So is
Just
it
making
just
myself
the two of
known.
y'all head over that way? Y'all leave Gloob and Julian behind?
I say it in the middle of the camp. I address everyone. I'm not being sneaky about it.
Okay.
Is it like,
I'm
can
sleeping.
we, once it is pointed out?
Well,
to
yeah,
us,
once
can
it's
we
pointed
see-
out to you, yeah, you can see, like, as it's gotten darker, it's like, oh, yeah, it looks like there's a campfire in there, but, like, can't quite, like, see the camp itself because it's far enough out that what trees and other underbrush there is kind of break it up enough. They're just like, oh, yeah, that's firelight.
Ooh,
They've got any vegetables? I'll pay extra.
they may have one of my crossbows, and that might not be a good thing. Yeah, let's go check on them.
Yeah, you should probably stop doing that.
I thought we were alone. Sorry.
Are we going with them?
Yeah, one of them might have my crossbow bolt like in their forehead.
There's a
Fine.
corpse as you approach. 2 corpses. There's dead.
The 2 guards for Firebrand's prison transport are just sprawled out on the ground. Good job, Glue.
I guess if it's a group outing, Julian will place his armful of firewood down and get ready to head over.
So y'all approach that way. Like I said, it's a little bit into the woods. It's probably like a solid 100 feet away from you guys, and y'all were already a little bit off the road, so you'd be in a little bit of cover and stuff from the road itself. It's having to kind of weave as it gets brighter and brighter. You see it as like as you get closer, it's like, oh, there was a pretty small fire. Oh,
Like, on the way over, Julian's probably like counting out silver, like,
How much do you think some mushrooms or something would go for around here on the road?
I don't know however much you want to pay for them. Depends on how bad you want them. I gotta be honest, my stomach's rumbling. I'd probably be playing pretty fair price for some mushrooms right now.
take a 4th silver coin and put it in his hand as well.
Gloob is gonna hide the crossbow in his bag of holding.
Just
Just in case there's some, just in
That's
case
fair.
there's some bolts hanging out of someone's noggin.
fair enough. Okay. So
Yeah, make myself known and be like, hey,
yeah, so as you
how
approach,
y'all doing over there?
y'all
You know,
get
try
you-
not
y'all
to.
getting closer, kind of calling out as you get into visual range. You see the camp, which it's not much of a camp. There's a small campfire, a dappled mare. Those of you that know anything about horses would recognize. Seems to be saddled, though kind of like girths loosened and everything, as if for rest, but not fully removed. Hobbled so that it doesn't go anywhere. Actually, I'm sorry. Not hobbled, just saddle's girths loosened. It seems to be just kind of sat, particularly still, not fairly content to be sat where it's at. And a singular individual sat at the fire, but not a just regular traveler as y'all would have expected. This appears to be somebody armored very similarly to Jakob and full plate. Though as you kind of look at him, he's kind of sat facing towards the fire, that it seems very poorly maintained, battered. The plates in places like battered all over. It's been through some shit. It looks like maybe there's a couple of these smaller plates that are just straight up missing from the set. There's bits of rust in places. The chainmail showing in between there's like ragged gaps where it was damaged and just never repaired. Bits of rust on the chainmail itself. And over both, kind of over his kind of chest plate, a kind of ratty tabard. Linked up, kind of not, still kind of in the crook of his arm and kind of stretching up down his shoulder and kind of out in front of him, as well as a halberd. Seemingly in slightly better repair than his armor, at least it doesn't seem to have any rust spots on it. And hanging from, as you guys are kind of coming in, it doesn't, at first not seeming to react to y'all's presence. You guys get, and he is helmed. Seems to have a helmet on as well. Just seems to be fully armored.
Just at the campfire helmet.
Just at the campfire, just seems to be just kind of staring blankly at his campfire as you guys first approach, and about his neck, kind of outside and kind of hanging just down onto the chest of his tabard. Oh gosh, I lost it. Is a kind of battered but still pretty brightly polished pendant of a downward pointing sword with a V on either side of it, kind of connected by a chain around his neck.
Just a shot in the dark, I'm assuming that Julian has no idea what that symbol is.
Anybody who would like to is welcome to roll a religion check.
Let's see.
No, I'm not even gonna roll.
That's a natural 20, but I need to know what
Very nice.
my modifier is. I think it's a 2. I don't know if I'm proficient.
Whew! Big sneeze.
The symbol being meaningless to Julian, when they get closer, he would have been like,
Evening, friend. Think we could trouble you with some silver to part with some vegetables?
23.
23 was Bart's. Did you roll, Bart?
16.
16? Okay. Natural 20, definitely. But we'll start kind of low down, going up. Bart is not. It's not exactly a super obscure. Just so you just don't know much. You know, you kind of have to search for it a little bit, and you go, oh, that's the symbol of Mayaheen or Mayaheen. Not super solid on that pronunciation, but you know she's some kind of goddess of kind of think she's pretty similar in line with Heronius about like the just and righteousness things. Jakob, with your natural 20, you know specifically that Mayaheen is a goddess of protection, justice, and valor, and is actually wasn't technically initially at least a goddess. She was a demigoddess who kind of has in the more recent years risen to prominence, is also very frequently at least offered worship from a lot of the same people that worship Heronius, and this is very clearly a male figure, which is a little odd because you know a lot of her devotees tend to be female. It's not unheard of, but less common for warriors of that proclaim to follow her to be male. But as you kind of call out Julian, like I said, it takes a second. He doesn't seem to initially react. She has before he kind of jolts and turns. Hello. I'm afraid that I kind of turns. You can hear the kind of his kind of really tattered armor. He turns and kind of looks over towards his horse. I'm afraid that we don't have much in the way of supplies to offer for trade or otherwise, unfortunately.
oh,
You need
Our apologies
help?
then.
No. Quite all right. Though, if any of you are in any need, more than happy to assist. Are all of you
Appreciate that.
traveling safely?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're about to start cooking. If you wanted to throw in, and we could all eat together.
It's a bit light on vegetables, but it's good. Good as hell, actually.
I appreciate your offers, but it's perhaps best for me to tend my own fire. Keep to myself.
Does this person seem as weird to us as like it's coming across out of character?
Yeah, there's the like pauses in conversation, and like I said,
Alright,
this
just
dude, you
making
can't
sure.
like it's kind of weird. Usually people don't just sit there and talk in full armor, but
Yeah,
he
with the
has
helmet in front
made
of the
no
fire.
move to remove his helm. You can't see any skin, even with the gaps in his armor.
Speaking
And
of the armor,
this guy has like a full helmet on. Like,
Correct, full helm.
So we
You
just have
can't.
like
Yeah.
eye holes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, and you
so we're
can't even
getting,
really like make
echo
out.
mode.
Yeah, you got like the echo going on from within his helm.
speaking of the
Just
armor,
Go ahead.
I see you have some dents in your armor. I'm not exactly a blacksmith, but I could get those out for you if you want, free of charge. I see that holy symbol of yours, and I know pretty well what it means, and I follow Heronius, so I feel
Noble and
feel-
just God.
yeah.
He just kind of lifts
Gotta
one of
stick
his
together.
arms up and kind of looking at some like where the chainmail is kind of like hanging, where it should kind of be like in the full sleeve. Once again, thank you for your offer. It continues to serve.
All right, figured out offer.
Julian will send kind of a quick mental over to Gloob, just
This individual seems a little off. Couldn't put my finger on it.
Yep. Hey, have you seen any crossbow bolts?
Kind of tilts the helmet to one side. I do not myself use a
Oh, that's
crossbow
good.
as a weapon.
All right.
So,
No, that's good. We're about to set up camp. Probably safer if we'd all just stay together.
I mean, he makes a pretty valid point. I mean, it'd be fine if we hung out together unless you're in some type of trouble or something. You don't want to be associated with nobody else. I don't really know your situation, not trying to pry too much, but
He's not. I am. What's the deal? Glue pops down next to his fire.
He's kind of like sit
Brings
down
my
as you like
crossbow back
close,
out, now that
close
it
that
looks like-
distance and just kind of sit down as he kind of like seems to be a little taken aback by your approach. Bart or Gloob, roll a quick perception check, or either each of you or one of you with advantage, whichever you prefer.
what would you rather, Johns?
I know your bonus is better than mine, but because of that, I want to roll my own.
Okay, let's do it.
Oh, yeah, you know, y'all are having slightly different requests, so I think it makes sense.
It
when
was on 17 and then rolled off.
I rolled a 17.
Okay.
when Gloob goes
Uh,
to do that, Julian's just gonna kind of like lean against the nearest tree and try and catch Bart's eye.
As y'all, I'll go ahead and say, like, while you're kind of leaning, y'all notice like the horse has kind of like gone from where it was just kind of chilling. It's now like perked up now that y'all are here and has kind of turned itself to where it is kind of like it's got one eye where it's kind of facing all of you. Kind of seems to be kind of keeping an eye out.
22.
22 total. 4.
It was on 17 and just said, "Oh no, I don't think so."
Fuck
3.
you. Yeah. So in response to you, Gloob, you're like, yeah, I want to know. I want to know what's going on. What's your deal? He says, I'm simply traveling and seeking to do good. No need to concern yourself. To Bart,
Well, that's the same thing we've been doing.
bit of perhaps I could sit with you for a spell. Not the whole night, of course. Well, yes. You do not know me, and I do not know you. That would be.
Well, I follow
It's
Sorolla Lee, so I mean, if you're a total stranger, then that just means you're a friend that don't know it yet.
His mind literally does work like that.
Well.
Why are you acting so weird?
Just kind of turns. Oh, what do you mean?
Oh, well, I mean, my friend Gloob here. I'm Bart, by the way. This is Julian Jacob right there. I mean, he's kind of lacking a little bit of tact, but you do seem a little uneasy, like something might be worrying you.
Turns his helmed head. Look at all you. I not used to having campfire companions as of late. It's kind of a bit of a hesitation in that sentence.
You have a bad time with someone else at a campfire?
Not at a campfire, no, but no traveling companions recently.
All right, well, good news. You got 4 of them tonight.
What's your name?
Names aren't important. Just a traveler.
At that, like, renewed eye contact with Bart. Kind of like.
I mean, are you in some type of trouble? It's all right if you are. I don't much care.
No, I am simply traveling from village and doing what I can to better people's lives.
Have you been by Saltmarsh recently?
No, I have only recently made my way down here to the coast.
From where?
A little north of the capital originally. Just been traveling my way down.
What's the capital?
It's much farther to the north from where you guys are. A lot farther inland.
Whispering that to Glue. What's the capital? I don't know what it is.
That's fair.
I don't know what the fucking capital is.
Oh.
I was like,
yeah,
I don't know what the capital is.
Yeah, the
I did
capital.
at one point.
I can't think of it
Yeah.
off the top of my head. I'm going to keep it real with you, Chief. The name of it? Absolutely not. I just know it's further inland.
I know that
Right.
building. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, the Capitol. Ah, you've been to the Capitol building. It's very lovely.
Oh, I've
Oh.
heard of it before though.
Oh, I see. It's very,
Very,
very shiny. Neil Draw. There. I came from north and a bit east of Neil Draw originally.
I don't know if you know this, but conversations are easier with names. And I don't want to just call you that weird guy when I talk about you to my friends.
Well, I mean, he came from Neil Dry, so we'll just call him Neil, I guess.
That's too close to Ned.
I've known many a fine Ned. It's a good name, strong name.
Is that your name?
No, it is not. A bit of hesitation before saying no. But
Do you?
Can I roll insight check to see if this guy is having like some weird affliction that he just doesn't know who the fuck he is? Like if he has
Sure.
something weird going on with his head.
sure.
That was
Can
going to
I
be my
roll?
next question. Is do you know your name?
Can I roll insight check
13.
that his name isn't Ned? Because
Sure.
there was
Roll it.
hesitation.
Go ahead, roll an insight check.
4.
4. You're not sure, Jakob. Bart. He rolled really shit. You don't think this dude knows what his name is?
Oh shit.
I wasn't rolling specifically for that, but as a general insight check, just trying to get a fucking read on this guy. I got a dirty 20.
What general read? You gotta give me a little more than that. What are you looking for?
Like, is this guy like ill, deranged, just legitimately secretive? Like, what does Julian get a ping on?
With the dirty 20, I'll say general sense. This doesn't seem to be a guy who's used to lying. It doesn't seem to be very good at it. He seems quite earnest, like it just general, like he seems to have been telling the truth for like more or less, like seems like he came from Neildra. That sounds like that checks out. He's been traveling from village to village. I mean, he definitely seems very unsettled. Like as you guys sit there and continue to interact with him. Like he doesn't seem nefarious or anything, but he just seems earnest
Right.
and like uncomfortable.
But does he seem afflicted? I guess that's probably the best.
I mean, does he seem like insane? Does he seem crazy? Is that what you're fishing for? Or...
Either crazy or like feverish. Like
no, he does.
sick.
No, he does. Yeah, he doesn't seem sick. Like he seems to be completely in control of his faculties.
Just not his memory.
Right.
Yeah, but like Bart specifically fishing for, does this dude know his own name? You get the sense like he keeps hesitating and stepping around it. Like this dude doesn't know his own name.
What's hounding you, friend? You're no marauder, but something is off.
Were you all? I mean, is something off? Something harming you?
Whatever do you mean? Nobody is after me. No, I am doing
This might sound like a little
Mayaheen's
bit.
work, and
This might sound like a little bit of a personal question, but were you an orphan?
that is a little personal.
All right.
Do you wear your helmet because you're ugly?
That's rude. Come on, Malglue.
All right. Julian used to wear his all the time. Now he wears his down. He's gotten comfortable around us.
Bart, I'm gonna go ahead and say, kind of continuing on your line of questioning, kind of with like your passive insight, as you're kind of like asking him questions about his past. He is very purposely avoiding the question, and seems to be for similar reasons that he's avoiding the questions about his name. Seems like he doesn't know.
You have no idea who you are, do you, son?
I'm a champion of Mayaheen, doing her work.
What's the name of the church you came from? Lead priest? Person taught you how to fight? Man who blacksmithed up that nice armor?
Roll persuasion.
Shit. 17 total.
17. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. We might be able to help you out. Just can we keep asking you a few questions? I might be able to pinpoint what happened.
Kind of seems to turn his helmet and looks at you, Bart. Oops.
If this is gonna turn into something more extended than buying veggies, we should get the pot going.
Looks over at Jakob as well, because the two of you are the ones wearing symbols of any kind of gods that he may recognize. I believe it may have a little more than memory loss. Kind of takes his head forward and grabs the sides of his helmet and takes it off. And not because he's ugly, Glue. Just be a younger man, maybe in his mid-20s ish, if those of you who are familiar with humans were to guess. Short, kind of short cropped brown hair. Some bright blue eyes. but his skin is very pale, almost bloodless. And there seems to be a large gash going down the side of his face, kind of stretching down past his chin, like into the kind of, that collar that he's got going on. And it's not bleeding, it's not scarred. It seems to be an open wound in his face.
Oh,
It seems like it has not healed and is not.
Correct.
Is there
Not-
any Is it clean? Is his face clean, or is there like dried blood or anything?
It's clean currently. Like outside of probably like sweat and like travel grime. Doesn't appear to be any like dried blood.
when I asked if you were ailing, friend, I think that qualifies.
Perhaps.
I'm just gonna go ahead and I mean I don't want to go past any boundaries you might have, but are you strictly living, son?
Roll one more persuasion check for me with advantage.
All right. It's already 30-20.
I believe so. Currently. I was not. I couldn't say I'm particularly sure how I came to this state.
Do you feed on mortals or have any other unholy urges?
No, I
Excellent. Let's get dinner ready while we have this talk. I am very hungry.
don't
He might.
eat,
Yeah.
actually.
Right, but I do.
Not hunger.
Let's move this conversation this way. Or cook here. I don't care.
It's worth noting that as this kind of conversation progressed and as he's taken off his helmet, the horse has kind of made its way over and is standing like almost over him, kind of like just behind him, and seems to be kind of turning his head back and forth to look at all of you.
I'll look at it.
What's your deal, bud?
Just kind of huffs at you, kind of like turning a head so they can look down at you.
I'll grab a handful of grass if there's any around.
He just kind of reaches a hand up and pats it. It's all right. They meant to do me harm, they would have. It's
Just-
okay.
While looking at the horse, he'll gesture at the knight.
Exactly.
If you're still willing to have me, I would.
Yeah, let's sit
Glad
down
to-
for a spell. Figure this whole thing out.
Try to heal him, Bart.
Right, that's what I was gonna get to. I don't know if I can heal someone who's passed on like that, but if you're willing to let me give it a shot, I'll be happy to.
By all means, I've attempted similar already myself. I don't know if it would make a difference if it was of another's power.
Is that your only curious wound?
No. The one I believe was the fatal. It's a little
Alright.
smaller, but
I have other questions, but food.
Does your horse still eat?
she does. Not necessarily because she needs to, but
Because your horse is.
she is
Is-
magical
Similar.
in nature. No,
Oh, all right.
Mm.
Okay, I got you.
she's a
Magic horse. Okay.
That explains why it's been
Like
staring at us so grumpily.
like you do with the birds and fish and stuff.
she is
Saying that to Julian.
my longest remembered companion.
This that reminds me. Just thought of this. It's rather important to you. We know of a lady by the name of Ella Conley. If you ever run into her, do not take off your mask and don't tell her about yourself. She's not the biggest fan of. I don't want to offend.
Non-living, strictly.
Yeah, non-living individual.
I
So
understand.
think about
That's
that.
why I tend to do my best to uh, keep away during sleeping hours when I'm not actively assisting as the best I can.
Come to think of it, Ella might actually know a cure or solution. She's a reasonable person.
I kind of got the feeling that her cure solution would be to return them to death.
I'm sure she'd call it rest, but
Well, I'm not gonna go seek her out or anything.
While I understand where people may come from for this, I may not know where I came from or even who I am, but my shining lady must be seen fit to return me for some purpose. I intend to see it through. If it is simply
Hey.
to wander and help, then I will do so.
That's a noble cause.
have you I mean, you're here and you said you had a halberd as well?
Yeah, he has a
You're
halberd kind
here
of propped up.
with all these weapons or all this armor and this weapon. Do you still remember how to fight? You said you're going around doing good.
Yes, I seem to have remembered that much, if not how I came by the skill.
All right.
I remember my lady, my fair lady Mayaheen, and I'm driven to help those who cannot perhaps help themselves.
And you just woke up after the fact, or
I assume so. How long? I'm not sure. I woke on a battlefield.
all right?
Skirmish field, perhaps. Might have been. Others had been picked at or dragged away. I'm not sure. I was myself wore little more than my skin and my amulet.
Okay, so you acquired this armor afterwards, then?
Scavenged as best I could.
Oh, all right.
Any particular name you'd like to go by? Hey, you isn't exactly the most appealing of references.
I haven't much thought about it, really. I've done my best to keep my distance and interactions to a minimal. Generally speaking, during my travels, I've been referred to as the Knight, or Sir Knight, or Mr. Knight.
In
Not
this world,
many
is
of
like,
us all around.
in this world, is the paladin like the general term for a holy knight, regardless of power, or?
Probably so.
Fair enough, I guess.
Have you tried going back to where you woke up at, and anyone in the area knew about the battle? Maybe there might be folks looking for you.
It was quite isolated.
Mm-hmm. There any like coat of arms on one side or the other?
There was many fallen. They didn't seem to be bearing any particular signs. Like I said, many had been dragged away.
Right.
There's not much left once I woke.
Okay,
Outside
all right.
of evidence of violence.
I understand. Well, if you don't feel too particular of an urge to get back to some folks that you don't even remember, I guess that gives you quite a chance to make your new life your own, right?
I wouldn't be sure where to return to, but
Right.
do what I feel is right.
So about that stew.
Yes, if you wish to return to your camp, then let us do so. I understand.
Yeah, that's all. Huddle up.
Others do not have the same affliction.
Even if you don't eat. If you can, you should. It's delicious.
I've
Yeah,
and
I
it
guess
does
we'll
little for me, unfortunately.
head. Yeah, I guess we'll just head
Have-
back to the camp and start getting some food prepared while chatting.
Um,
Have you
Oh, go ahead.
tried sewing up your injuries? Because I mean, I imagine it might be a little bit easier to explain. Say like, oh, it looks bad, but it was actually really shallow.
Sewing up, no, I kind of gave up the game after magical healing seemed to take no effect. Accepted my lot.
I think he meant more for a surreptitious approach. A sewn wound looks less jarring than an open, unbleeding one.
Maybe so.
I mean, whatever works for you. Like, it's your face, your life.
I will
but-
say he looks like a dead man, even without
Ah.
the open wound in his face.
Well,
At some point, either during the walk over back to our camp or while Bart's preparing the food,
Mhm.
Julian was gonna try and get him off to one side and be like,
so what do you know about this Maya Lee? His deity.
Me?
"No, Bart."
Oh,
Oh,
He's asking the cleric, Jacob. Gosh.
Sorry, he doesn't know that you know that much.
yeah. I mean, it's not really much of a halfling god, but it's kind of justice oriented.
Benevolent.
Yeah, it seems pretty good. Isn't that what you said, Ian?
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
they're
Yeah, seems
it's not like lawful neutral, right?
no. Like I said, seem to fall like what you would know would seem very in line with in worship by a lot of the same people that would worship Heronius.
It's canonically, I don't know how you're running it. Canonically, it's a sub-deity of Palor.
Correct.
So,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean they seem pretty righteous and out to do justice and right things. I mean, this guy has no idea who he is and just is guided by his faith, then I'd say he's probably on a pretty good path.
Well, I don't know what a god like that would have keeping fallen soldiers down, or keeping them up, but suppose they have their reasons.
Right? And I mean, we came across him, so maybe he's just supposed to be here. Or maybe we just really could have used him in the war and he's getting here a little bit late.
Right. Poor guy.
while
just
they're talking.
help with dinner or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
While they're talking, I'm gonna turn to the knight and say, so if anybody ever sees your skin, something my wife always did, she'd say she had this condition, it was like Alberta or
Albinism?
yes, that's the one. And people didn't really know what it was, but they seemed to believe her well enough.
I don't believe that I fit that criteria that well, but I suppose to those more ignorant that it may be a plausible explanation if they are willing to have explained what that is, or if they know perhaps very peripherally of the condition.
Oh, probably a very strange question or strange thing to say. Well, my wife's kind of like you, kind of a
She
little bit
is
different.
undead.
Yes, it's a
Interesting.
very good lady.
Not
Meet her
of the
sometime.
flesh-eating variety, I assume.
I know there's been a lot of implications. Was that the first time you've actually said that outright? Outside of a private conversation with Bart or something.
I can't remember.
Probably.
I think you had a conversation with Bart at some point about it because
I
I think you.
think probably privately with Bart. I don't
Yeah.
think it's been a public statement, especially not to the entire group. at
Yeah,
once.
would that
I
be the
definitely
first time
didn't
that
say
he's heard
anything
it
around that.
outright?
So let's go with yes.
Yeah. Okay, so he's over there helping stir for Bart or something, just kind of
And she lives integrated into normal society, unhindered.
Yeah, bit larger than the average bear, but and she'll get looks every once in a while, but nobody seemed to bother too much. I know there's people out there like Ella that I told you about, and I mean, don't get me wrong, Ella seemed like a nice lady. Seemed like she believed in what she was doing, but
It's
maybe
understandable.
misguided in some of the beliefs.
Well, from what little memory I have after I've woken up, there, those of a disposition similar to myself or your wife seem to be quite rare in the realm of the undead. It's much more common to be ravening fiends, or quite evil if they are still sentient.
Right.
Yeah, well, so are plenty of living humans.
That's a good point.
Quite true. Harder to identify just based off of visuals, unfortunately.
If anybody's wearing an amulet, and I'm gonna explain or tell them about the Orcus amulet. Anybody's wearing one of those amulets, might want to check them out.
Do you explain who Orcus is?
Yeah, and I'll tell them about the island over dinner.
I'll have to be sure to keep an eye out for these cultists. I wonder if perhaps I knew of them previously. I couldn't be sure, but anybody who worships such a malevolent and pain-loving deity, they are no friend of mine.
You prayed recently?
Quite regularly.
Just approving nod. Like,
If you sustain an injury in your current form, does it stay forever, or do you have any type of?
The only ones
just-
that seem to remain are the ones I seem to possess before I
Right,
awoke.
okay.
The others seem to
Useful.
heal.
That's
Can
good.
you still feel pain?
Yes, I assure
Okay.
you I can.
So you
Perhaps
would have.
I'm more durable, perhaps, than I imagine I was previously, but I do feel.
Well, that's good. Well, I mean, I don't mean that's good. I guess it'd be helpful if you didn't feel pain, but for you to not be in agony in your current predicament is a positive situation.
It is reassuring that I still possess some of my living qualities.
Yeah. Well, you're just wandering around from town to town, looking to do some good deeds.
As best I can, seeking what direction I may acquire from my Lady May.
Did she speak to you anytime recently?
Speak so much, but I sometimes feel that I'm being directed.
I understand. Well, we were heading on our way to Saltmarsh. Whole lot of everything going on around here lately. I don't know if you heard the news. There's a Swahagan attack, and they were staging a war, and there's a small war fought. They had a big coalition of different water-faring races and lizard folk and all other different units coming together to help beat them back. But there's been a couple of issues we're trying to iron out in the interim, but fighting seems to be done as far as we know. Pushed back to the ocean.
That is always good. Large-scale conflicts always lead to large-scale suffering.
That's right.
What kind of good have you done?
I've dealt with highwaymen, small groups of bandits that have been preying upon smaller villagers or farms. I have actually encountered a couple of different infestations, I believe would be the best phrase, of undead, or similarly semi-intelligent or malevolent forces. Some seem to be bestial in nature. Things of that sort. No large-scale problems, I am but one man. So I try to pick off the things that I am capable of. For those less fortunate who cannot afford the services of the higher-end mercenaries or the like.
And where's your sky person telling you to go next?
My lady, she does not tell me. I simply go where feels right.
That's the way to do it.
It has not led me astray as of yet.
Well, this is such a fascinating story.
Julian was sold on the being directed by a god thing for obvious reasons, so
Right.
he's just kind of like, much more benevolent guy to be guided by than me, so thumbs up.
Hunt
Nice
all of the
job.
things. Kill them dead. Just go where your heart tells you.
Help
That's
people.
really nice. What the fuck?
God damn it.
What the
Why
fuck?
is he the cool guy?
Stares at Ocean like, what the fuck, dude? God. Of course, do not allow me to hold up the rest of you from enjoying your meal.
Oh no, it's all right. Do you drink it all still, or just none of it?
Occasionally for the sensation, if nothing else. I don't seem
It's kind of like
I don't seem
look
to
off to-
require the regular sustenance.
it's kind of like look off to the side. And it's like trying to gauge where like one of the gashes or something might be. Like, well, hopefully you don't leak any if you do.
Try not to overfill, but there have been a few incidents. She kind of gestures at some like. Sometimes I miss the water and it causes a spot of rust.
Right. Well, that's just plumb neat. I don't know how else to put it. I mean,
Certainly reassuring, I suppose, to have concrete evidence that my purpose has not yet been fulfilled.
yeah, absolutely.
Saw fit to return me so that I may do so.
Do you sleep?
No.
Excellent. We'll have company on our watches.
Happy to do so. For some that are
Does he
so
sleep?
accepting of a odd occurrence as my current existence.
I mean,
We've run into a whole lot of odd occurrences.
Just kind of like smiles, a big old toothy smile.
Just kind of tips his head. There are many of those in this world, I have found.
Does he sleep?
Gestures at the horse.
She
does not, no.
She.
She's not of a originally physical being. Magic,
Totally get it.
magic gives her form of a gives her the spirit that she is a physical form to inhabit.
Makes her protective of all hell as you too, so can't
That's
be
all.
a bad thing.
As a magic horse?
Yes, she's quite intelligent.
Blue's gonna get up over to the horse.
It's a horse made of magic.
He says, directed
Yeah.
at Blue.
Yes. She's
Not just
fucking horse is like
enchanted.
tilted its head as you get close to it so it can still look down at you, and it's like
Get my eye as close as I can to it.
it's kind of. Then it just kind of stomps one hoof like right next to you after y'all have sat there for a second. It's kind of.
These things are assholes.
That's rude.
No, he's right. Horses are usually assholes.
Well, I mean, this ain't a horse. This is a magic horse. And
That's
he
why I
said it
said-
was smart.
I said usually, not this one.
Oh,
She,
okay. Well, yeah, I reckon that's fine.
she
And
can
not
be
Cecil.
temperamental, perhaps at times, but
Which way down the road were you
steadfast
going?
companion. Ah, I had been mostly wandering through the wilderness. I believe I'd been heading to the north when I stopped.
Oh.
That's the direction y'all were going.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
Watch
Yes.
how far north you go.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I said he came from the north earlier, didn't I? He came from. God fucking damn it! I hate this goddamn map. No, he did come from the north. Okay, yeah. No, y'all are going west. Westerly. God fucking damn it. I hate this thing so much. Even after I have my map where I've like fixed it for myself. God, I fucking hate directions. They're
Well,
stupid.
I've got second watch, so I'm going to bed. Pleasure to meet you, and we'll converse further when I have to be awake.
Julian, I
well,
wish you would choose first or second. You're really screwing me up with these things.
It was just the one time.
It's literally been almost every time, man.
Would you prefer to take second?
I don't care which one. As long as it's the same one.
So am I going to bed now or no?
Sure, I will take second watch.
All right. Good.
All right. So, and as I'll wrap up meals and I assume summon up the dome,
yeah.
which he is very, oh, that's impressive protective magics.
Yeah, thank you. So Roll Lee likes
Quite
to make
useful.
things nice and homey.
She sounds lovely.
Protection's kind of his deal.
A good companion to have by your side.
You have no idea.
I do not, I confess.
They're blowing it out of proportions.
No, we're not.
Blue can sneak up on anything. Yakov's literally chopped multiple people in half with his greatsword, and I mean, Julian
They deserved it.
can
I believe you.
teleprate or whatever it's called from one place to another, and
Teleport.
right, yeah, teleport and summon up weapons and dogs made out of all kinds of weird stuff, tentacles. Not like an octopus, like just tentacles from nowhere.
Sounds faintly disturbing, I'd have to admit, from explanation being given.
Also,
Yeah,
yes.
sometimes they whisper and stuff. You can hear them. That's weird.
Also sounds quite terrifying.
Yep.
Must be
I don't think
intimidating
been in-
foe.
never been inside of it. Don't want to be.
That makes sense. Well, as you guys chatter back and forth with this guy
Yeah.
and start to lay down to go to sleep, the dome coming up, his horse seeming testing that she can come into the dome, but not forcing herself into it. Just making sure that she can if necessary. That's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Hey.
Woo!
Sick.
Thank you guys for joining me. I hope y'all had a good time. I know I did. Thanks, you guys, whoever and whenever and why ever you were in here. Hope you had a good time watching and hanging out and vibing. And I hope you come back next time. We here at the Hard Knocking of the Dice, not only do we do this game here on Mondays, which is obviously dungeon mastered by myself and played by these fine gentlemen, from 7 p.m. Eastern Standard to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard. We also have a game that we play on Saturday known as Across Eberron, where we have our squad there who have a name, the Shining Vanguard. We're really cool. Is dungeon mastered by our boy Glub. I think I'm pointing this way. Nope, other way. God damn it. I always get it confused. This gentleman right here, dungeon master by himself, played in by me and a couple of these other fellas over here. And we do some stuff. We also have some other people that are in it. They're great fun. We got a lot going on. We're slightly higher level. We are currently in a mountain. Our fucking one of our party members got paralyzed, held person, himself and his wife, like by our current bad guy that we're pursuing, who actually also killed his wife. So it's fucking insanity. But we play that game on motherfucking Saturdays. Jesus Christ. Saturdays from 5 p.m. Eastern Standard. So come check that out. Once again, go ahead and take a look at the International Medical Corps. We are currently promoting that in place of our Extra Life campaign. They are benefiting, people all over in the crisis, the people suffering from the crisis in Ukraine. Very good cause. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Donate if you can. Definitely worth it. And we're gonna raid our friends over at TPK Roleplay. They do Dungeons and Dragons things as well, obviously, cause hell yeah. So give them some love, and we'll see you later.